Good evening, and welcome to Professor Kane's writing class. It is all the fun we have over again. We have two of our comic books and our first graphic novel are in production. We're going to show them off tonight as we start a sequel. It took a while. We were getting the comic book business back in motion here. As always, brought to you by our latest Kickstarter, the Faro's Lounge Superhero Strip Poker Part 3, the Imperial Championship, with Emma Frost. Right off the Marvel Universe 1991 Hellfire Club card, sent it to the artist and give me that. As always, it's the things that affect us in childhood. All right, get down to business. We did 12 classes, 2 pages per class to produce 4 24-page stories to make one big graphic novel, The AracKnight, our Batman-esque retelling of Spider-Man's origin and story with our futuristic city, our Empire City, a civil war that is enraged outside of the city. We brought in our James Bond-like villains. We had Dr. O. We even brought in a little cameo for the Lizard. We introduced the idea of Norman Osborn becoming the Green Goblin later on. We're building a universe here. So I said, okay, now, at the end of Chapter 2 in our story, which again, the pencils and inks are finished, we'll show them off. We had Spider-Man sort of like assisting the Fantastic Four's voyage towards the Mars, shooting off the Mars colony. And he stopped the chameleon from sabotaging it. So we brought them into it. So the idea was I was going to write a Fantastic Four story for the next class. But then I really just fucking love writing Spider-Man. So I thought, let's go bigger with Spider-Man first. And then if this is fun and we do this and we're able to do it without fucking driving ourselves crazy and bashing our head into the fucking laptop, then we'll do like a phase 2 thing where we're going to do a Spider-Man sequel, The AracKnight Returns, which we start tonight. And we'll do a Fantastic Four story. We'll just go right into a fucking Spider-Man 3. So the idea is now we're in phase 2 of our Faro cinematic universe, as per Marvel. At some point, Marvel will change management, and they'll bring in some new blood and some new stories. Who the fuck knows? Disney's doing their KO event. Nobody knows what the fuck Marvel's doing with their comic books. I think Disney just bought it for the fucking library. We all know that. All right. Let's show off the production. Now, the pages for the AracKnight 1 are not finished yet. We finished pages 1 through 12. I'm going to show off the pencils, the inks. I got to go over the lettering tonight. That is also part of the thing. You do the colors first, which you'll see here as we show them off. And then you eventually do the lettering. Then you have to read over the lettering as per your script. You have to do things like, page 8, panel 2, bubble 3, bubble 3, line 8, change this word into this, add a comma here. So your basic, simple editing. The point is we love the process. Let's show off the process and the progress on the AracKnight Chapter 1. Now, also what I did here is I was not a fan. This is a new penciler I brought in because I was doing 2 chapters at the same time. Showing off our cool little Empire City, which is what New York is called in our universe. But what I think I hate the most is I can't stand a lot of real estate. It aggravates the shit out of me. This is called too much real estate. Too much fucking white border. When my colorist took over, I specifically told him, close in, get rid of that fucking borders, come in a little closer. Pissed me off a little on the artist. However, it's just the origin pages, which don't get too crazy yet. Now, again, we wrote this comic book together. We mined the first 111 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. We used annuals. We used the Spectacular Spider-Man. We used whatever was coming out at the time. So our AracKnight 1 graphic novel sort of represents the 60s era of Spider-Man. We're going to be going into the 70s when we write this one. And we get to a third one, we'll write the 80s. The rules and regulations of our newest comic book. So again, we had here in Chapter 1, we were showing off Empire City. We're showing off that Peter's parents are alive, that they're scientists working for Stark Industries. They're working on recreating the super soldier serum. They're experimenting, of course, on several animal specimens that were provided later on, we find out, by Craven. Rare and exotic animal acquisitions. Uncle Ben has been Peter's guardian. Aunt May is dead in our storyline. Uncle Ben's kind of like our Obi-Wan Kenobi. He looks after young Peter. Peter, of course, is hanging out and coming to visit. When he visits the lab, he is bitten by a Wakandan Black Widow spider, which, of course, is carrying the super soldier serum and transfers the venom into Peter, which, of course, should kill him, but doesn't. He wakes up. His parents are astounded to see that he is fine. Of course, he starts to get his superpowers. He's ice skating with his parents at the Rockefeller Center. He crashes as his agility starts to take control of him. His abilities start to kind of take over. His parents get him out of there. They're walking towards the lab to pick something up, where, of course, they are accosted by the chameleon. who we use as kind of like the one who kills Peter's parents, a la Batman Bruce Wayne, trying to steal the formula. Of course, the father throws the formula away. Before the chameleon can get to it, it gets into the sewer, which, of course, we reveal sort of leads up to the origin of the lizard. In our storyline, of course, we do the Batman shot of young Peter watching his, looking at his parents' now lifeless bodies as the chameleon gets away. He even tries to kill Peter, but Peter fights back with his newfound powers. We show Peter is kind of emo. He's kind of just on his own in high school years later. A couple of bullies in the schoolyard are fucking with him. He takes the football, nearly takes one kid out, nearly cripples the other kid, beats the living shit out of everybody. He gets away before the cops come and arrest him. He's back there in his rooftop apartment. Now, mind you, in the original storylines, of course, Peter Parker was always broke. But I always said that Peter's parents were fucking scientists. Maybe they left him some goddamn money. So if I want Peter to be like Bruce Wayne, not like a stupid billionaire type, but like, he's got some cash. He's got a trust fund. Uncle Ben tells him he'll cover him with the cops. He says, look, maybe you should get the fuck out of Dodge for a little while. Peter takes off. He finds happiness working on a farm. He travels the world. He starts to build his love of photography. And he's even working with a salvage crew, and they find the Horn of Atlantis, which we lead into another storyline later on with Captain America and Indiana Jones in our cinematic universe. Peter, of course, is on this ship. It gets taken over by pirates. We see Peter fighting back. But, of course, in fighting back, he sets up a powder magazine. Both ships explode, leaving Peter, killing everybody on board. So while Peter tries to do the right thing, it backfires. Everyone is killed. The hostages are killed. The bad guys are killed. Peter's floating along in the wreckage. He washes up along shore of the savage land, where he is woken up by Kraven the Hunter, who becomes his mentor. Sort of like, you look at Batman Begins, what Henry Ducard, Ra's al Ghul was to Bruce Wayne, is what Kraven is to Peter in our storyline. They fight together. He learns how to swing on the vines, sort of like the Spider-Man he'll become later on, teaching him how to use his agility, his stiction skills. Kraven, of course, becomes a mentor, almost like a father figure, for the father Peter does not have. Of course, that is our naughty cover. Slave Leia Mary Jane with Frozen Spider-Man. The steel bikini. Let's keep going. We have the colors, of course, the vibrant colors of Empire City. I want it colorful like Joel Schumacher's Gotham. We see the color updates on our pages. Young Peter Parker. So you see how the process goes. We send it off. We get it penciled. We get it inked. We get it colored. And then finally we get it lettered. These, of course, were the colors for the cover. Now we get to the loading point. I just got these today, which inspired me to start writing the AracKnight Returns today. So I haven't even gone over these yet. So what I would usually do is, of course, you blow them up. You go over them. You go through them. We're not going to go through them today. So I'll have to do that on my own. And again, whatever typos. Sometimes I can even look at a page and say, you know what? Like, you look at something like this, where there might be too much real estate. You don't just put in filler boxes. You look at these pages and say, maybe I could add more story, more description, more narrative boxes, stuff like that. To say, you know what, we could throw a box in over here. Now, again, you don't just write something, just don't write bullshit. You get a chance to write a second script. When your letterer first finishes, you really get a chance to kind of look it over and say, you know what, either make the boxes bigger or add more story. You can even talk about the past of, there was a revolution outside of Empire City. We went off on our own. See, again, I'll know this when I go over it later on. So again, narrative boxes, we got room here, room here. They never put in filler. Look over and say, is there something that I did in the comic book script that I described in the art direction that I can say as dialogue to kind of have a little more fun here? Really open up our universe. So again, this will be kind of cool later on as you see the process. How you literally saw the black and white pages turn into life. So we'll go over it. These pages look nice and full. Again, we got some room here. Peter waking up. I wanted that, of course, to be the silent shot. You never want dialogue there. That's the Batman shot. Bruce Wayne over his parents' dead bodies. They got the emo 8 years later when he's in school. Talking to his uncle. So again, I'll get to go over these. I'm going to want him to close in on this page a little bit. I'll tell him in the notes, close in more. I like a bleed. I favor a bleed, unless, of course, when you collect everything as a graphic novel, which we may or may not do. Excuse me. Well, I want to close these borders in, which I'll tell him. When I write him the notes, I'm going to literally say to him, get rid of these white borders. Way too much border. I hate borders. I want it more like this. I want the border. You see the difference? I want more page. I want more bang for your buck. I can't stand and let's just reveal this before he even watches, is that he's going all the way up to page 18. And I like him for the origin because, again, we don't have to get too complicated on our origin pages. But when it comes to action, I really, really love Emil. So Emil is taking over the end part of this. Emil's finished the AracKnight 2. I'll show you those pages. The AracKnight 2 is finished. It's got to be colored and lettered, which will be done after these are done. So JC, the guy that did these pages, he's working on, right, so the first 12 pages are done. Right now, he's working on pages 13 through 18, but I also have Emil also doing another version of page 18, and then he's going to do the last half, the last 6, 19 through 24. He's going to close it out and then take over for chapter 3. Emil, to me, is just the better artist. You'll see right now, these are the pages I showed you from JC. Pages 13 through 18 are in production, and also at the same time, 19 through 24 are in production and paid for. Now, you're going to see, close off this folder, you're going to see chapter 2 now, which to me is just incredible. This is Emil. This is my guy that I use on Faro. I use him on Pixie Runner. He's my go-to guy. I've been trying to get a second guy, but that was JC. But I still love Emil's my favorite. You see the homage that we did in chapter 2 to Batman, the animated series. Now, in the second half of chapter 2, we see Spider-Man putting his suit together and starting to gain his powers, and then basically going off. He fights the enforcers. We get that end line at the end of chapter 1. Who are you? I'm Spider-Man, As a matter of fact, we can go to Instagram real quick, and I could show you. The pages. Check this out. I can show you the last 6 pages of the first chapter of the AracKnight. Let's go to my massages. Check this out. So this is the end. I don't have pages 13 through 18 yet. And this is when Peter first comes back from his trip around the world. And he's working with his Uncle Ben. You see, these are the first sketches that we're getting. That's the Sinister Six kind of taking over the lights of the city. We see Peter starting to sketch together his costume with Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben essentially is his Alfred. This is him going off on his first mission around the city. We saw Craven trained him. Craven was his mentor, told him how to kind of use the jungle. So now the city is his urban jungle. So his first big fight, the end of chapter 1, is going to be Spider-Man versus the Enforcers, where he fights them all, smashes them around. He fights each one with their skills. And the idea is that Peter wants to know the way to get to the top of this criminal pyramid and find out who this guy is that just basically took over the city lights. And basically, this is when he harasses the city and threatens to sabotage the Mars colony if he's not paid $100 billion. Very Dr. Evil. And that is, of course, our last page. That who are you? I'm Spider-Man. We get our Batman Begins ending. And I believe we could show you JC. Unfortunately, JC has only showed me one page so far. Where we see Peter and Craven fighting to the death in the Savage Land. So you can see, our pages will soon be done because all 12 are being done at the same time. Now, let's show you the progress on Chapter 2. So again, we have the homage to Batman the Animated Series, if you're fans, where he fights the guys on the rooftop. We get that Batman shot, but of course there's a dirigible. So Spider-Man tries to escape, and then he has to fight the Master Planner's thugs, the purple-clad thugs, all these thugs that are working. He shows the bolos. He jumps into the cockpit to stop things, but he sees it's a trap. This Dr. O is anticipating him, is watching him. So he sprays up a whole bunch of a web nest in order to catch the deflating dirigible from taking out some buildings. He applies to work at the Daily Bugle, which of course we have looking like the Daily Planet, where he meets Betty Brant, which will be his love interest for this first, or Miss Moneypenny, if you will. I told him to basically make J. Jonah Jameson look like old school Stan Lee. So now the idea is that Peter is on the bankroll of the Daily Bugle, hoping that J. Jonah Jameson could help lead him to whoever this criminal is. Of course, Jameson doesn't like Spider-Man. He thinks Spider-Man is the guy behind all of this and wants Peter to follow him. So now Peter and Ben say, well, look, now we have a corporate sponsor, but we're still no further ahead of finding out who these criminals are. We have the meteor. We see the Mars colony is talking about the launch of the Mars colony is all the story and all the rage in Empire City. Spider-Man goes to take out the meteor, but of course he is booby-trapped then jumped by the chameleon pretending to be Kraven, fucking with Spider-Man. We find out, of course, that the chameleon is Kraven's son, and that much like Spider-Man, he was an experiment gone wrong of his parents. So they are connected. Uncle Ben, of course, saves him. We do our Batman Begins-like scene where Spider-Man's kind of hallucinating a little bit after he gets electroshocked. He's got to get him back. He's having nightmares. We get the little Venom cameo about literally the chameleon killing his parents and about to kill him, saying that he needs his blood. The failure to save his parents. And then we get to, of course, the chameleon going to the ruins outside the, I guess you can call the outskirts of Old Empire City, outside of the shield, the bubble, where he has to go take his little submarine down to the underwater lair of Dr. O. Where, of course, Peter is recovering in his parents' lab. Uncle Ben's telling him, dude, you don't have to do this all by yourself. We see Chameleon burning down Kraven's lair. We see, of course, the end of Chapter 2 shows the eventual launch of this Mars colony where Peter is going there as a photographer for the Daily Bugle, looking around to try and figure out where the chameleon is going to strike. He tries to get at one doctor, he tries to get another doctor, he turns the tide, he has the cops about to attack Spider-Man, but then all of a sudden, we see the countdown begin. We see Spider-Man and the chameleon in this shot. I always love this shot when I told my artist, don't show the Fantastic Four, just show the back of their heads. They're not in this as much as they're making like a cameo, whereas the chameleon dressed up as Spider-Man is trying to sabotage you, get the whole thing blamed on Spider-Man. Spider-Man, of course, fights back. We have the battle with himself. Eventually, we do that great line from Batman Begins where he says, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Where Spider-Man doesn't kill him, he just leaves him there, pinned down at the bottom of the cockpit, at the bottom of the launch pad, where, of course, the Mars colony takes off safely without the chameleon sabotaging it, and it burns the chameleon to death. Spider-Man barely gets away before the ship grabs him. He almost goes out into freaking space with them. Again, we get that fun shot where he looks at them. Back over here. Get that fun shot where he kind of looks at them, waves goodbye, wishes them luck. Now, of course, in my Fantastic Four story, it's not so much of a cosmic cloud as it gets sucked into a black hole. And they're more like a Lost in Space adventurers, I'm going to give them, like a Planet of the Apes kind of thing. Spider-Man shoots the parachute, lands, and of course we go to the underground lair where someone has been watching this all along, watching the makings, going to look to exact his revenge on Mayor Osborn. Now we revealed, of course, we have these two which will go into production once Emil finishes his Chapter 1 duties. I want to definitely produce this whole graphic novel with my own money. I don't give a fuck if I lose money, make money, try to get it to Marvel. If they don't buy it, who gives a shit? We'll sell it on the black market. Now, the idea is to kind of comb through Chapter 3 because we've got to see what little notes we could play with in our sequel. And the idea was when we opened Chapter 3, we talked about the sewages of Empire City. We see a bunch of troopers that are looking for the serum, the formula that Peter's father originally threw down the sewer so many years ago. As these troops are looking around for the doctor or for the mayor, it's Dr. O, of course they are attacked by a lizard-like creature, which we kind of introduced the idea that perhaps the lizard got his hands on that super soldier serum. And of course we bring in Oscorp Tower. Peter and Betty Brant are touring the tower. Betty Brant is there as a reporter. And then Peter, of course, will have a one-on-one with Norman Osborn, where, of course, Norman will kind of allude to knowing who he is. We have Commissioner Stacy, of course, touring. We show Norman's plans to build the first ever kind of floating, hovering skyscraper to get to the rest of the planet. He has now bought the Baxter building from the Fantastic Four because they are now out in space as part of the Mars colony. Now, Norman, of course, reveals that somebody is trying to blackmail him, sabotage him, which, of course, we will reveal later on as Dr. O. We talk about how Norman had hired the members of what will become the Sinister Six to build Empire City into the city that remains, this kingdom in the sky almost, after the Civil War had torn our country apart, and Empire City, of course, seceded, dealt arms to both sides of the Civil War, got stupid rich, while the rest of the country fell apart. That is our backstory of everything taking place outside of our main city here for our story. So we have to bring up the idea that maybe Spider-Man gets kind of sucked in to helping with rebuilding the country outside of Empire City. But as of right now, our storylines are based in Empire City. So we have the holographic images. Just want to kind of blow through it so we try to remember what we did here. Kind of like a summary of what the AracKnight was all about, which we showed you through the art of chapters 1 and 2, and now we're showing you the finished scripts of chapters 3 and 4. Each script is 24 pages, so every class we do is going to be 2 pages a class. We will mine old Spider-Man comic books in order as a way of that's where we are at the time. That's what the information and the ideas that we use. We mine them like Bitcoin, and we build our new stories based on our own knowledge and our own abilities to storytell in our own warped, sexy minds with our influences of Batman and James Bond and whatever else is cool that we want to mix into our own Spider-Man universe. So, of course, he shows his first orbiting skyscraper idea. Dr. O, of course, has little nanobots that are there, that are spying on him and everything else in the city. We have all those little nanobots. But, of course, Dr. O needs more money because he's running out of money and resources to pay his troops and, of course, his little nanobots. Peter and Norman, of course, have their little face-off where they talk about Spider-Man. Dr. O, of course, here, he blackmails the mayor and he says, look, dude, I'm going to show everybody how you murdered us, how you used us all, how you're a power-hungry piece of shit running Empire City. And he says he's going to ransom the city. Spider-Man foiled his attempts to sabotage the Mars colony, so now Dr. O really fucking hates Spider-Man. He's going to get fucked up. And, of course, the Chameleon's dead. Kraven is dead. So we go pretty quick here. I like to treat these graphic novels like James Bond stories, where you have the villains and the hot chick. We had Betty Brant, who's our Miss Moneypenny here, and our kind of our love interest we kind of throw in at the end. And we have our experiments. It would be easy for me to tell you that whatever you just witnessed was a collection of altered images, products of this mysterious machinations of the departed Mr. Beck. Also, we even talk about the hell's Daryl. Voice on Norman's radio. Oh. Okay, so this is when literally Dr. O is fucking with Norman Osborn. So he's got a... What we did in this one was we have Dr. O fucking with Norman Osborn because, again, Norman Osborn supposedly had killed... He said very much like Magor the Cruel who built the Red Keep. Once Empire City was built up, Norman is revealed to have sabotaged in a way of trying to kill these 6 men, but in actuality, it's Norman who gave them all their powers. And will bring them all back. And the idea is to not just always have it Peter versus a bad guy, but we bring in Norman as this kind of Lex Luthor type middle ground, sort of like a triple threat match third party that kind of mixes in as well. A person who, of all the effort, has been a villain for himself, but Empire City is thriving because of his leadership. So it's up and down on that. You want that dichotomy, otherwise you just have your standard boring villain, boring fucking good guy. What was he having? Swinging in Zen-like pose. Dr. O fights the minions. Okay, so what do you have here? So Peter, of course, I remember. Okay, so Peter goes into the water. He's following the minions. What happens here is Dr. O continues to try to hold the city ransom. And now that Peter's foiled his attempt to fuck up the Mars colony, he's attacking, using his nanobots to attack Oscorp Tower and say he's going to reveal his secrets to the entire city, that he's a bad guy. Dr. O is going to eventually realize that he can't take over the city because the city don't give a fuck. So he says, all right, I'm just going to fucking tax the whole fucking city. I'm taxing all the people. I'm using all my fucking minions to collect. It'll be up to Peter and Uncle Ben and Spider-Man to save the day. So now Peter goes underwater following the minions. And what happens is when he goes underwater, he gets attacked by the fucking lasers. He gets fucked up. Peter gets all shot up, nearly fucking killed underwater there. He tries to get some pictures. The idea is to show that Peter, it goes in arrogantly. He doesn't use the help of the cops. And I remember what we had here was that Commissioner Stacy, our Commissioner Gordon here. Oh, basically, okay, he's loaded into an unmarked vehicle. So Spider-Man, when he goes down there, he's taken away. He wakes up at Commissioner Stacy's office where they try to unmask him. Commissioner Stacy, of course, becomes like our Commissioner Gordon and says, look, I want you to punch me, knock me out this way. It'll look like you escaped. So we reveal that it's not corrupt cops. I didn't want to do that boring, every cop is corrupt, because that's just been done a million times. These are good cops. And the idea is that he doesn't realize that Spider-Man's jumping the gun, going after Dr. O and talking shit about Dr. O, whereas Dr. O could fuck the whole city up and Spider-Man's kind of working on his own. We start to develop our relationship here with Commissioner Stacy and Spider-Man say together, look, man, we got to work together. We're going to fucking protect this city. Especially after, by the end of this story, Dr. O makes Norman Osborn go into hiding. We, of course, also reveal that Dr. O is basically almost all nanobot. That is a cool reveal that we bring into Chapter 4, is that when Spider-Man is fighting Dr. O and really starting to win and start to fuck him up, we reveal that right as Spider-Man thinks he has the death blow on Dr. O is really almost like a Terminator, where all these nanobot technology has taken over his body, made him almost all machine, and one of those tentacles is going to go in Peter's throat and suck out his life essence, when in the end, he's taken out by a sharpshooter. So this is kind of fun. It's going to take a while as we go through the first story in our AracKnight storyline so that we can go right into writing our sequel and open up our story with a kind of maybe a James Bond-esque kind of thing where we introduce the villain. We'll show our source material that we're going to use. I just wanted to go through it nice and good so we make sure we don't miss anything. Again, we got Uncle Ben. He rescues Peter. Once again, nurses him back to health. Dr. O fucks with Peter and tells him you're just another specimen. All these people that worked with his parents, all about recreating a super soldier serum to maybe create some soldiers to help rebuild the dying country. Or the country, 6 beers and 6 slices. So Uncle Ben tells Peter his story. Do you think the doctor was right that my parents are working for the wrong side, that they knew what would happen, that maybe they were planning to run tests on me before the spider? You want my answer? Does it really matter anymore? Your parents are gone. Half the country beyond us is wiped out. And we are here floating over all of it. A glamorous toilet over a valley of shit. Maybe your parents were double agents. Maybe they were clones. Maybe they were Skrulls. Maybe, just maybe, that crazy old doctor is telling you what you need to hear so you'll join his cause. Oh, this is good writing. Very proud of myself here. You have to move on, kid. You have to embrace a new chapter in your life. Regardless of what is running through your veins, you are under no laws or obligations other than to live your best life. And maybe that's not here. Maybe we're better off hitting a steamer for Madripoor. Go spend some time in the jungle. Or if you want to stick around and finish what you started, I've got no problem helping you kick this crazy doctor's ass. Or the mayor, for that matter. I didn't vote for the asshole. I'll need a new suit, and I think we've cleaned out my parents' old lab. You think we reach out to some of those heavyweight brains in town that they could assist us? No questions asked. Perhaps Tony Stark, Reed Richards? Well, Reed Richards is halfway to Mars by now, and recent streams have reported that old man Stark has gone missing in the wasteland. So it's on us, kid. Ooh, here we go. So what we show in the end... Oh, Daryl. You know what it is? I wrote Daryl to be like a hot assistant, like Daryl Hannah. I'm sitting there going, where the fuck did I get that name from? I think I was watching Splash at the time. I was thinking about Daryl Hannah as being like how Norman Osborn's like our Michael Douglas, Wall Street kind of thing. Does that include? It does. I'm not in the mood tonight. Marco, what's the status? We're at the dock, sir. There's definitely a lot of radioactivity coming from the source. Okay, so Norman Osborn now sends his own men down there, and they're going to get fucking taken the fuck out. And of course, a lizard breaks out of one of the captive tombs there and fucks shit up as well. Because originally Dr. O is able to trank the lizard and bring him back for experimentation. Of course, it doesn't work out because Dr. O has got to get out of his lab because now that Norman Osborn knows where he is, he tries to kill him. So we have Dr. O, who escapes his underground lab and he brings up his giant spider octopus, Dr. Loveless from Wild West kind of fucking contraption, and comes out of his lair and starts marching through the city towards Oscorp Tower, where he's going to set off his nanobots into explosions and then kill everybody underneath, where of course now Spider-Man's got to leap into action. He's got to get to the fucking tower. He's got to spray all those fucking waves. He's got to make a huge fucking web barrier, catch all the fucking things. He's going to team up with Commissioner Stacy again. They're going to fuck some shit up. And he climbs up and he saves the day. However, the entire rooftop office was detonated, and apparently we think that he has killed Mayor Norman Osborn. But of course, we know that Norman had gotten away, taken his glider. We show that Norman, in this particular chapter, we show Norman's secret weapons lair, where he's been building all his technology and his bombs that, of course, will lead him to becoming the Green Goblin. Close up on Dr. listening to Norman's proposal. I know you've worked very hard to get to this point, Doctor, and I will admit that you are currently in checkmate. So allow me to offer an olive branch as a way of negotiating for my life, and those of this city who I serve. What if I give you your old job back? What if I give you complete control of Oscorp Tower to be your new home? Your base of operations. You're not the only one with the self-destruct button, Doctor. This technology that you've built, that I've mastered, it would be a shame to waste. On second thought, open fire! So he thinks he's trapping Dr. O, but in actuality, he just kills a robot decoy. The Doombots, baby! So Spider-Man, of course, saves the day in the end. The nanobots plug in your mayor, your choice. And this, in the end, one of the nanobots, of course, plugs into all the communication systems and shows the videos that he was showing about Norman killing off the members of what will become the Sinister Six, killing and sabotaging the architects. See, and then blows up the mayor's tower, rooftop fucking office, leaving things very, very cliffhangery and dark and disposed. How it finishes. The palpitations that you feel, those aren't your nerves breaking. That's your brain locking on the targets. That's your body working in sync to let you know everything is going to be okay. You tried to save those people on the ship and you failed, but you took out the pirates, so the next ship would make it. You're not in over your head, you're exactly where you need to be, in the center of the chaos, and may fate and faith decide your fortune. Oh, I fucking love it. Oh, yo. So Spider-Man will grab further proof that Dr. Norman Osborn is a fraud. In his desperation to prove himself amidst losing his legacy, he tried numerous attempts to replicate the sacred super soldier serum. When he discovered the leading scientists on the formula, he tried to recruit them. He then stalked them. Then he blackmailed them. Eventually growing impatient, he ordered their execution. Shot down, right in front of their offspring. So just to be a dick, with all the tech of the futuristic Empire City, cameras everywhere, he shows Peter the death of his parents again. He fucks with Peter. Peter saves the day. And then basically, just to be a dick, Dr. O shows the footage of the chameleon killing his parents, getting inside his head. That's how you fucking end a chapter, that dark fucking chapter that shows you think you won, you just fucking shot up a robot, I blew up the mayor's office, I exposed him for the fucking murderer that he is, and I just basically rubbed your parents' murder in your face saying that the mayor ordered it. That's how we ended chapter fucking 3. That'll be in production once we finish pages for chapter 1. Chapter 2 is already done. Chapter 4, of course, we end it. Now, we used, again, our source material was Amazing Spider-Man. We used at least 2 issues. Sometimes we went into 3 and 4. We used the annuals that were talked about at the time. We looked at any of the crossover issues that they were referenced. And we used the Marvel Universe of the 60s to build our AracKnight story in 4 chapters, 24 pages each, with some variant covers to play around with as well. Introducing some other little Easter eggs for our universe, a Fantastic Four story, Captain America, Indiana Jones team up, which again we'll use in our expanded universe as we write more comic book stories. But I really wanted to write an AracKnight sequel first so that our cinematic universe should always have more Spider-Man content than anything. And we're going to use 2 titles this time. We're going to use 2 titles because in the 70s, we had The Amazing Spider-Man, of course, which will start at where we left off at number 112, 1972. But a few months before, after they ended all their reprint series and the Spectacular Spider-Man magazine, they went with the Spider-Man Marvel team-up, which mostly, every now and then they went with the Torch, but most of it was always pretty much, this was the Brave and the Bold cartoon with Batman teaming up, so it's tag teams. And since this is our sequel, and Spider-Man will more than likely team up with somebody in our storyline, let's use these stories as mining as well. We, of course, are in March here, but we're September here, so we'll probably have to try and play a little catch-up. Maybe we'll do 2 issues for every one until we're caught up, and then have some fun there. So we shall see. We always do 2 amazings per class, but instead of doing a 3rd and a 4th and everything else with that, that's what we're going to slide into this one as well. So I think this is like a 3-part story. We'll have some fun. We'll go through it. I don't think I've ever read these. I mean, it's been a long fucking time, so it's kind of fun to rediscover them again as well. So long as you're patient, you love some Spider-Man. Let's go through Chapter 4 real quick. Now, again, we've talked about this, the Empire City Grid. Spider-Man versus Dr. O. J. Jonah Jameson with the doing all the voiceovers. We see that the lizard escapes. He eats a shark. Commissioner Stacy, what do we have here? Puffs out a large. Commissioner Stacy and Spider-Man are meeting on the rooftop of his apartment. Spider-Man, of course, is angry. Commissioner Stacy doesn't know really who he is yet, but I like to have their one-on-ones together. I want to build that dynamic of that Commissioner Gordon-Batman relationship from the animated series between Commissioner Stacy and Spider-Man. We even make some like a little Easter egg about his daughter. Now, again, these classes are available on YouTube for free, so we can't really get delved too into it because we want to start the sequel. I just want to go through here to make sure there's any little notes we might have missed. Whereas Dr. O, now that he's revealed the mayor, he now taxes the city. He says, my minions are going to come collecting. I want all your precious metals. So Spider-Man says he's not asking for money. He wants precious metals. So what does he want it for? So Spider-Man, of course, much like Batman, becomes like a detective. Uncle Ben's going to help sneak him in. They're going to jump one of the minions, steal their outfit. Spider-Man's going to get inside. And as he gets inside, he starts learning that Dr. O is stealing all these precious metals to melt it down to outfit the Oscorp Tower. He's going to escape in the Oscorp Tower. He's going to basically steal Norman Osborn's idea about basically a rocket skyscraper, which is kind of like you see like the Mars colony was that first part of launching 4 people to Mars to set up the planet. This, of course, this Oscorp Tower would be like the next phase of taking an entire colony of an entire city of people to the Mars planet. We'll get more into that, too, of the idea of the Mars colony and why we need to get off the Earth. Maybe the Earth is dying. We can have some fun with that. Maybe we need the superheroes to help rebuild the Earth. Because what I would like to do is the challenge in this next chapter, the AracKnight Returns. If the AracKnight was 4 chapters, now again, we don't force filler, but I'd like the challenge of seeing if we could do 5 chapters. The idea is that it's the second story, it's the sequel. It should be just a little bit bigger. You know, more stakes, more this, more that. So we're going to challenge ourselves to do 5 chapters at 24 pages each, which of course gives us 5 times. That'll be 60 classes. So we had 48 classes for a 4-chapter story, 12 classes each for a chapter. So we'll have 60 classes, and we shall end up, last time we had 96 pages. This time we'll have 120. So we're looking to make a 120-page saga using The Amazing Spider-Man, using 2 titles, both The Amazing Spider-Man and Marvel Team Up. All right. So again, let's get to the finish line here. Dr. O and Spider-Man, we finally have that face-off. And now I love is we find out that Dr. O takes over the Baxter building, which he steals once Norman Osborn goes missing and more than likely presumed dead. So now Spider-Man will break in, pretend to be one of the minions. Uncle Ben will help him. And once Spider-Man gets inside, he sees they're using all the precious metals to outfit the Baxter building for a launch. They're basically going to turn the Baxter building into like a fucking rocket ship. And he's draining all the money and resources and metals from Empire City to do it. So, of course, Spider-Man will get on the horn, use the communication systems to get a hold of Betty Brant, to get a hold of J. Jonah Jameson, will expose the story and reveal where they're hiding. So, of course, Commissioner Stacy will lead all the cops to attack the Baxter building. Inside the Baxter building, by using all the old Fantastic Four comic books, we show that the Baxter building has the pogo plane, has a rocket ship, has the Fantastic Car. I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we have him fight amongst all the equipment in the old Baxter building? So we use it as a reference. Oh, my. We use it as a reference. And Spider-Man and Dr. O literally crash the Fantastic Car into each other. They fight in the copter. They fight all over. They blow out the walls of the fucking building. And in the end, Spider-Man's going to beat Dr. O to near death. He's going to reveal that Dr. O is more robot, more nanotech than man, as his body's pretty much died for all the radioactivity and all the sabotage of being sunk into the bottom of the ocean. And his escape, he pretty much can't breathe regular air because of the radiation poisoning. So he's kind of like a trapped. He's like a Mr. Freeze. And in the end, when Spider-Man thinks he's got Dr. O beat, one of those fucking tentacles will pop into Peter's mouth and try to suck his life force out, drain his blood, his fucking organs, to feed back into himself, to keep himself one last shot at being alive like a fucking parasite. Right? And just as it's all about to go down, and he's about to win and kill Peter. A fucking sharpshooter right through that fucking window led by Commissioner Stacy will blow his fucking head off, get the kill shot in. So what I like is in the end, Spider-Man, by helping the city and helping the city doing all this cool shit, in the end, he also gets one back when they help save him. So I want the cops and Commissioner Stacy to have relevance other than just being side characters that are always just running one step behind like they did in the old Batman show. And I really think we had some really cool fun with this fucking story. And when I went back and read it, it was just so much fun. It's fun to do. And you're nervous at first when you do it because you think, oh my God, what if I got nothing to say? What if this is just going to suck? And it's not. It's just, this is a fun fucking story. This is something I would read as a Spider-Man fan. They crash through the maintenance shop, the conference room. We just have a great shootout in the end between the cops and Dr. O's minions. Very fucking James Bond, Thunderball, fucking Goldfinger-esque. And I just love the ending to this. And again, it's like Spider-Man just about to be killed by Dr. O. Horrific close-up as Dr. O brings in Spider-Man close. His cybernetic tongue punctures his mask, probes into Spider-Man's mouth. My brain is the only thing that still lives. The science of this planet has failed me. I was determined to use this tower to enter the unknown, perhaps even join the Mars colony, but you stand in my way, so perhaps I will take you up on that offer of a new body. I choose yours. You should be honored, Peter. I have scanned and scoured through the minds of all my minions, and I knew none of them had the physical or psychological stamina to handle such a transfer. Your parents will be proud of their creation. Be calm and still, young Spider, for you will become boom. I love it. Commissioner Stacy saves him in the end, a kill shot right through the fucking head. Spider-Man, of course, throws up after nearly being taken out. And we lead to the end of our story. The body of Dr. O being placed in a special containment box. There is no spark among him. Now, what about the doctor? I don't think he's ready to sleep with the fishes just yet. Even with his madness, he did manage to put quite the fright into the hierarchy. And even dead, they would like to study the brain. Make sure there are no more robots hiding in the lobes. And what about the city, the mayor? Well, from what I hear in my circles, and all that I try to ignore, it looks like old man Jameson is going to run for the seat. Which is good because I don't want it. So what do you want, Commissioner? Right now, a calm breeze and a good smoke. A vintage Madripoor. You interested? He offers him a cigar, kind of like a friendship, a suggestion of friendship. Sunrise over Empire City, we see the focus of a new day past the previous chaos. We see the dirigibles and cruisers scaling the sky as progress continues. This is Betty Brant Now magazine, and it's a new day in Empire City, where our eyes have been opened and diplomacy will begin, as we will reach out to those below in order to elevate all efforts of production and redemption. We will commence our new leadership, steadfast entrepreneur with an understanding of what is right and wrong, the way he sees it. So Jameson is sworn as the mayor. Commissioner Stacy goes over a battle plan with his men to prepare for the possible invasion of Dr. O's fellow captains, a.k.a. the other members of the Sinister Six. We show, because Dr. O makes a call and says, gentlemen, I'm taking over this city, come on down. So now we have new members of the Sinister Six arriving. We can see Easter eggs of the 4 remaining members of the Sinister Six. With the Doctor's invasion quelled, we have reason to rejoice. However, we have been warned that there will be others behind him who share in his beliefs and bravado. But our commissioner swears his men ready. His men ready? We'll have to fix that. For any nefarious or sinister plots. Sinister. So with darkness looming in the distance and the soldiers preparing for battle, will there ever be a time where Empire City can return to normal? I believe the answer is yes, and we have someone to thank for that. He is a masked marvel, the secret soldier, the AracKnight. Finished with her story, she closes the stream, smiling in sexy satisfaction. We see her quickly checking her hair and makeup in the mirror as she is seemingly getting ready to go out on a date. She opens the door to her office and we see Peter Parker holding a bouquet of roses and standing in his vintage iconic blue suit and gold turtleneck as he's the one taking Betty out on the date. Miss Brandt, Mr. Parker. Caption across the panel reveals epilogue several cycles later. We pan down towards an unassuming alleyway in the deepest depths of Empire City. We see a half-lit neon sign showing 2 geishas dancing. It looks like an abandoned strip club. We see a truck pull up to the abandoned club. SFX of the door to the club opening and the truck pulling in. We see Dr. O's containment box inside what looks like a makeshift lab. We hear a voice off-screen. I wanted to thank you, Doctor. Thank you in person for everything you have done. While your intent was to destroy, I find myself reborn. The box opens up to show up the dead body of Dr. O, which looks perfectly preserved like a robotic Frankenstein. We see a shadowy figure standing over the Doctor, the shadow forming an almost goblin-like shape, like a monster about to consume the Doctor. You were right about me, but I wasn't always a fraud. I was once a scientist just like you, eager to recreate the fabled super soldier serum, so that I would glide among gods, herald of the galaxy's greatest gifts. We see a shot of the lizard in a large water tank in the background, floating almost peacefully like Luke Skywalker in the back of the tank, with several tubes connected to him. What I lacked in knowledge, I made up for in ambition. And now, Doctor, once I jumpstart that brain of yours, it will become my weapon, and I will reclaim my empire with both brains. We see a close-up of his gnarled-looking hand, spinning a vial that is labeled Peter Parker. He essentially has a vial of Peter's blood that he is using for a serum. With both brains and blood. Close-up on the gnarled and veiny heart of Norman Osborn, where we can start hinting at him transforming as we see him injecting himself with the serum made from a sample of Peter's blood. Norman laughs maniacally as we see a scary pattern of the serum coursing through his veins, with the serum almost forming a goblin-like design over his heart, like the monster is consuming his soul and laughing like the Joker. The end. But the AracKnight will return. Oh, it's fucking awesome. There's your long fucking setup for this new class, a new semester, a new story. The AracKnight returns. Shit, now class is over. I'm kidding. Let's do this shit. All right, so you know how we roll. Get rid of that real quick. We'll go to that later on. As always, brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Okay, our AracKnight script is set up. Our goals today is page 1 and 2, 6 panels each, sometimes more, sometimes less. Art direction and dialogue. And we'll have work to do tomorrow, but we'll be making fantasy lineups today. So, the question is, where do we start? Should we go here first? Start with our brand new title, then come in behind? Or do we go with the old tradition of staying with the mainstream, the flagship title, and then catching up? What we could do here, since this is a number 1, we could jump into a number 1. So do we go this way or this way? Spidey uncovers a clue about the whereabouts of missing Aunt May. Let's go here. Let's do 1 here, 2 there, and then come around to 1 here. I like that. We're gonna do sort of like a blanket. We're gonna start with 112, since that's where we left off. And then we go into our new series. But again, our new series is 6 months behind here. So let me start here. Spider-Man and the Human Torch. I think we start here. We're going to start here and blanket it around. Yes. Go 1 and then 2 here until we're caught up completely. I like that. I like it a lot. All right. So what we do in our class, we go chronologically through Spider-Man comic books and we kind of go through them. Sometimes we read. Sometimes we just kind of stare at the art. And the idea is we want to mine at least 2 comics. But we're probably going to do 4 since we're doubling it up now. And we're looking to do a 120-page story, 5 chapters at 24 pages each. So we're not looking to end it in 4. We're looking to end it in 5. We have to go bigger. This is the sequel. And that is the challenge that we accept. So it doesn't matter where we last left off in our mining. I believe 112 was, again, him fighting with Kraven. And we got to the Savage Land part. It was awesome. So let's do this shit. All right, so we last left off. He was beating up on the kangaroo. That stupid, or the gibbon, when fucking Kraven tried to take him under his wing, which we kind of used. We used as Kraven taking Spider-Man under his wing. So we had if Spider-Man beating the living shit out of that fucking guy, the gibbon, dropped his ass off there and said, look, all right, Dr. Trevor's not going to like this. I left this idiot fucking superhero here. This is when they were really just throwing out a lot of these throwaway fucking heroes. He kind of just dropped some fucking dude that he beat the shit out of. Craven was kind of mentoring him. Poor Martin Black was kind of a failed wrestler. But now Peter's kind of stressed because last time Aunt May had left town. Aunt May and Peter have been fighting a lot. She had raised him after his parents died. He said, look, I had your back. We became really close, even though she's not related to me by blood. She kind of like adopted him. If they were making porno movies, he'd be banging Aunt May. We're not doing that. She was there when he got his diploma. But now he's been running around too much as Peter Parker, being a college student, doing his thing, getting laid. And when he last left off, again, I remember, okay, now she was hanging with Dr. Rock. A fat little good did me too. Nearly flipped when I found out who she had taken in. When Peter left to move in with Harry, Aunt May brought in Dr. Octopus. I remember it was fun. Dr. O and Peter. But then Peter went to go beat the shit out of Dr. Octopus. Aunt May passed out. This happened way back in Spidey 54. So this was a while. Somehow Aunt May always seemed to be involved in my battles. Or Spider-Man, whenever it was that time with Dr. Octopus. He had to swing around. Then there was the Beatles. This is kind of one of more of those, like, what the fuck happened to Aunt May? When it goes to safe living, being related to Peter Parker is like living on an atomic testing ground. Feels bad that being involved in her life is going to get her killed. But he loves her and he's got to find out where she is. Now, we reveal later on, of course, we learn in the Spider-Man storylines that she's living as Dr. Octopus's fucking maid and assistant. We got cars crashing. Spider-Man swings into action. We got to figure out how we're going to open our story. Remember, Dr. Octopus, when we left the AracKnight 1, Norman Osborn's in hiding. He has the dead body of Dr. O. He's got the lizard in his bacta tank. Now, do we want to open? We want to open James Bond-esque. We want to open with a scene of maybe showing off one of our new villains. We could bring back one of the Sinister Six guys. Because remember, we have Dr. O. Craven's dead. Chameleon's dead. So we have still out there, we have the Vulture, the Sandman, Mysterio, and who's that fourth fuck? Electro. Dr. O sent out the word telling them to come to the city. We can bring in one of those four. So let's see what inspiration gets us. It's always an interesting thing to open up your story. As always, we opened up our story with the origin. Aunt May's disappeared. He's got to stop in. He's got to do some fighting here. Got a bunch of criminals beating the shit out of each other. Peter stressed. He's like, I got to find fucking Aunt May. Spider-Man comes in. They start shooting at him. He starts realizing more and more. Goes, why do I keep trying to help out here? I don't get fucking paid. I got to go find Aunt May. There's a fucking shootout going on here. Spider-Man, you see me. I know you see me. You got to do something. Spider-Man's like, Jesus Christ, man. Why am I helping out here? Hours I could spend searching for Aunt May. I can't let myself go. I got to discipline myself. So he leaves. Leaves! He gets into his Peter Parker gear. Hey, partner, I didn't hear you come in. Must have been burning the old cold, Pete. I called twice. Thought you'd like a burger. So Pete's with his roommate, Harry Osborn. We're not bringing in Harry yet. Maybe we will, but again, we're dealing with Norman right now, so I really don't have Harry in our storylines. Ugh. It's definitely wasabi or something on my fingers. Every time I rub my eye burns. Hours later, his unconscious yearnings turn his feet towards more familiar things. A weary Peter Parker notices where his wanderings have taken. So now he's here at the Bugle, getting yelled at by J. Jonah Jameson. It's weird, I haven't read in a while. Peter's on salary now. You give me nothing, you collect the check. Spider-Man's true color yellow. Spider-Man copped out, so now people are saying that he's yellow. Some of these 70s storylines, I mean, Jerry Conway came in here. And I liked Conway to begin with, but then we had to see a lot of filler here. We got Betty Brant here, secretary again. Peter's letting the cops do their thing. I've always felt close to you and your aunt. Miss Brant, stop gabbing with Peter. So long, Betty. I'll see you. Kids are fighting around with each other. So Spider-Man sees this is kind of a cheesy issue. This is Peter ducked out to go look for Aunt May, and everybody's calling him a fucking Fruit Loop. He sees Mary Jane and Aunt May and her fucking Miss Watson. Peter May's writing, but sure, can you be sure she wasn't forced? So the idea is this is the search for Aunt May. Guess you're right, Mary Jane. You're a stupid whore. My alter ego. He's searching for Aunt May. I'm not sure if there's anything we could pull out of this one, but we're going to keep looking. We're looking to open up the next chapter of our AracKnight saga. Spider-Man's beating up on some of the thugs. He tries to get a lead on where Aunt May's hiding, where he sent the postcard from. Of course, she's going to track it down, which is going to lead us eventually back to one Dr. Octopus. We got Flash running around with Gwen Stacy. Oh, he's mad because he thinks that fucking Gwen's been seeing Flash on the side. Manhattan Isle, spider senses tingling, three men approaching the boarded warehouse. They're shooting up the warehouse. I think this is when we eventually meet fucking Hammerhead, right? Spider-Man rolls in. He realizes he's got to get back in action. People are fighting him back. He crushes a man's fucking hand. I'd like to open up by kind of maybe showing off one of our new villains. We got Spider-Man fighting. I don't know what the hell this is. The harness. Is this harness a Dr. Octopus thing? Subtle madness. This time you learned too much too soon. Unfortunately, your actually spider senses. There he is! Dr. Octopus and Peter. Where did I leave this that these two are fucking fighting so much? Holy cow, it's Dr. Rock. Did Spider lose his power? Is this the ultimate nullifier? Hang on a second. I gotta go back a second or two here. We gotta remember where we were with these storylines. Kraven the Hunter, remember we did that. Fought the fucking stupid Gibbon. This is where he saved Flash Thompson from that fucking those monks. The Spider Slayer. Oh, you know what? We don't need to go there because they'll show us where Dr. Rock this bit. Because I remember as we were ending this, this was a lot of the cheesy Spider Slayer. Because this was Stan Lee kind of finishing his run. As we finished this, that was kind of very symbolic, was as we finished writing the AracKnight, this is when Jerry Conway kind of took over full time. Holy cow, it's Dr. Rock. Okay, let's finish this. Yes, I remember. Okay, Dr. Rock and Hammerhead. Okay, so holy cow, it's Dr. Rock. Let's get into this. Let's get these two done, then we'll get over to team up. Spider-Man fighting Dr. Rock. This was a gang war. And then I remember, okay, now I'm starting to get all caught back up again. Reflexes come into play. The wall solar strikes. We have Dr. Rock and Spider-Man fighting. This might just be a little bit of residue left over from the AracKnight 1. We might not be able to use this, but we're going to go through it just to kind of take ourselves through the old Spider-Man lore. Spider-Man finds some old harness I guess Dr. Rock was using while he was waiting for his arms to come back. Now his arms are permanently with him. Beg, Spider-Man, begging you'll never receive. Perhaps you will understand what a true enemy you've made. They fight all over the city. Smashes him here, smashes him there. Whirling from uncaring hands, the strange muscle-amplifying harness shoots away through the early evening haze, unseen by its captor, unnoticed by its apparent creator. Oh, so it was the henchman. We've done this already with Dr. Rock and the henchman. They're fighting to steal something, but then Hammerhead steals it. The unmasking of Spider-Man. We got to this fight. So it's kind of cool. It almost mimics the fight that I used in the climax. He got Spider-Man's mask off. Peter got his ass kicked. They're underneath the bridge. Dr. Octopus is looking. He took some pictures. Groaning falls. Peter got fucked up. We did all this. See, look at this. Okay, made it. Some crazy kind of cramps. Almost as bad as that enzymic reaction I had a few weeks ago before the X-Men pulled my fat out of the fire. So you see, Marvel Team Up number 4. They start to get you to want to buy those Marvel Team Ups because they're telling you it's a dual universe. Supposed to be now. How come I feel like I'm run over by a truck? Tricked. Pulls the mask off. Costumed imbecile. Bernie found the secret headquarters. Randy Robinson's walking around. That's Joe Robertson's fucking kid. He comes home. It's good times. What we have in here. Everybody tell you. Got yourself a good lady, Dad. Look what I found. Peter's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. Got to drag myself together, try calling, take my time, get some sleep, get home. We've already used all this. This is stuff we've kind of used. Dr. Octopus, the phone monitors, the face monitors. What about the nightclub? He's finding somewhere to hide. I traced with that get. I think we got him here, boss. This is a gang war between Dr. Octopus and Hammerhead. After the way that Octopus creep shot up on numbers people on 8th Street, so Dr. Octopus was going to try and take over the rackets. You got to deal with Hammerhead. Hammerhead, I believe we learned later, is kind of like a Frankenstein, where they put like Al Capone's fucking brain or something in the mind of an old dumb henchman. We eventually get the Hammerhead origin story. But again, going through this, we might have to introduce a gang war. Later that morning, as dawn lifts questing fingers over the gray Manhattan skyline, a very ill gent named Peter Parker manages the last few steps. Peter's all fucked up. He passes out. He keeps thinking about fucking Aunt May. He wakes up and it's Gwen Stacy. I heard you moaning. Harry called me. We got the doctor here, Dr. Bromwell. Don't look so shocked. He says, look, dude, your problem is you got to be telling bitches you're Spider-Man. He got the shirt off. They don't know he's Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy loves him. And I definitely think we have to introduce Gwen Stacy. So Peter's got an ulcer. That's what they reveal here. He's developed an ulcer. I can't say I'm a big fan of these issues, but it was nice to get the Hammerhead in there. Did it the best I could, Mr. Jameson. The others came out overexposed. Wait a second. Spidey back like Doc. That's more like it. Maybe we've seen the last of that costume menace. The last. He's got the mask on the wall from Robbie Robertson. Ned wants to help you, Peter. Listen to him. No offense meant, but I'm kind of tired. Maybe if we talk tomorrow. That's up to you, Pete. But frankly, I thought you'd be interested in the lead I picked up. A domestic employment agency. So they found Aunt May, which we reveal Aunt May works for Dr. O, which ends up happening, of course. Don't you ever get tired, Octopus? All right, so Dr. Octopus is still trying to kill Peter. Now, I don't think we have... Oh, yeah, I think this is where Captain Stacy dies. They're fighting on the rooftop. Bang, bang, boom, right? I'm pretty sure this is where Captain Stacy buys it. He's wearing the mask. He's fighting Dr. O on the fucking side of a wall, punches him in his fucking head. And Spider-Man puts on the harness because he's weak. He's got no fucking powers because his ulcers had him all fucked up. So the harness is supposed to power him up. I don't know if we're going to use that. I don't know if we can use the harness. The fucking mask like Batman, the eyes. This thing ran out of power. Spider sense is tingling. All the guns are on him. They shoot him. You've done a real good job getting rid of my worst competition. Without Dr. Ock, the city is wide open. So it's a good old-fashioned crime taking over the city. I don't know if I want to fuck with that. Hammerhead versus Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man in the middle. Say. We're going to come away from this for a second because we made a reference here. They made a reference here to Spider-Man Marvel Team Up number 4. Now, we're in November here in 1972. So we're going to go back a few months to open that up. Because right now, all we have here is the Dr. Octopus Hammerhead Gang War. Let's open up our brand new series. I don't remember reading any of these. It's going to be kind of fun. We're kind of reading these for the first time together. If you're a patient person and a Spider-Man fan, kick up some fucking music and enjoy it. Especially because I still don't know how to spell it. Now, the Sandman is our villain here. We can have a throwaway villain. Or... Oh, that's a good hit. Some water. Or... Let's do this. Have yourself a Sandman little Christmas. Should we bring the Sandman in as our next villain? Day before Christmas and all along the land, not a creature is stirring. Save the polar bear clan. That's kind of cute. They go into the polar bears. These people that go and swim in the cold water. My fucking pool is very cold right now because it's November and we have a cold front, Florida. Sure, we know it's not much of a rhyme. We got to start the story somewhere. Jameson wants pigs Christmas Eve. I got to get the bread. My date with Gwendy. He's watching the polar bears running in. Take your human interest shots, Mr. P and Split. So Peter is hanging on. Eek! Something just passed my legs. Snake or a tentacle? Let me out of here. A snake? No, but a tentacle, yes. A tentacle indeed of sand, which spirals upward. Okay, so we have the Sandman. Now again, it's always about timing and things happen for a reason. Perhaps the Sandman is one of our villains. Again, we showed his death. Remember, he's crushed. He's sucked into a sand carbonator. And I believe it was chapter 3. Let's open that up real quick. AracKnight. AracKnight 3. Just want to get to that real quick. Grateful crowd, giant spider, stress and drones, colors hitting it. AracKnight 3. Those palpitations that you feel. Let's go up here. Just want to see his death real quick so I can use it, because I think we might end up using the Sandman. If that is the man introduced at the beginning of our research lab. Stare each other down. Need to see that death scene. Magor the Cruel. Okay. Nanobot laser screen. Lariat clothesline repeats of the commissioner. We have all that. It's not yet. Tear through the suit. Prevent thing from locking. Good luck, Your Honor. Grabs his camera. Peter attempts to back out of the room. The screen stopped flashing. Okay, so I think we have it here. Final screen. Demise of Dr. O. Good. The sand, blood, and screams of a squirrel, a gore. I like that. Here we go. The fourth screen will show the attempted demise of Flint Marko, the Sandman. We see him horrifically shredded to near pieces as he falls into a seawater energy thresher. We see sand, blood, and screams and a swirl of gore. All right, give him a good fucking death. Now is not the part where you offer me gold bullion. Your word has no credibility. Planned to expose you to the city tonight. Then you offered me this new gift. All right, so we're good there. We know he's got a nice horrific death. Let's see if he made any money. Damn it. All right, where are we? I almost like this entrance. You could show Mary Jane on a fucking beach, sunbathing. You could have him just literally walking up on the beach forming something more sinister. It's a man and I know who he is. He's the Sandman. It's my name, sister. Don't wear it out. Dental appointment in the Bronx. All right. So the art's kind of shitty. Well, the Marvel team up was the way they were trying to get other artists off the ground, other side characters. See if we can actually use it. We're not going to force it, remember. Pleasure teaching you a quick carry. Take him from both sides. He beats up the cops. We got to get a good entrance for the Sandman. But how does he enter? He's like a human sandcastle. Instead of a sandcastle, could he have made himself a brick wall instead? Costume for warmth. Spider-Man's fighting the Sandman. So we got the Sandman fucking up cops. We remember the Sandman being the villain from Spider-Man 3. They used some cool special effects, but it was kind of a shitty movie. It's kind of stupid bringing him into the origin of killing fucking Uncle Ben when you already solved that 2 fucking movies ago. Spider-Man and the Sandman fight. Gets out of the web. Do we bring in the Sandman in our first 2 pages? It's gorgeous Gwendolyn. I'll be squiring tonight. After all, Sandman is my animators tackled him once, and that was a long time ago. So really, they only fought once. I thought they fought more than that before 1972. Johnny Storm, you flaming freakout. What's the idea of shoot fire rings at me? The idea is that what? They show him going over to the Baxter building? He's someone else's headache now. So we have a team up. What's with you, Torch? You're being halfway civil. Where's the rest of your Faro force? It's Christmas Eve, so they tell me. Before you start asking subtle questions about why I'm not at Whisper Hill with the others, I'll give it to you straight. I got girl problems. You and the rest of the civilized world. Maybe this little tidbit will take your mind off your troubles. Sandman's back in town. Look at that fucking suit. Sandman? Then what are you doing here? Why aren't you? Oh, fella, he's not my responsibility. I just drop by to clue you in and let you take it from there. Wow, so they have forced. Get with it, chum. He could be anywhere from Jersey to Java by now. Well, not in Jersey exactly. It was more like on top of the George Washington Bridge, but he was heading into that city from that side of the Hudson River. Way back in Strange Tales 115. He was coming after you, web slinger, and he was no mood to tangle with a powerhouse like me, so he seemed to just vanish. I think this is when they reveal that he was going to get a present for his fucking kid. Reed and Sue took the new improved version with them. Is this the famous Fantastic Car? It's kind of fun because remember, we destroyed the Fantastic Four. Peter ran it into Dr. O, who was trying to escape in the Pogo Copter in chapter 4 of our storyline. The hardest thing to do sometimes is starting that sequel, but we have to accept the challenge. So they're flying over the Jersey Bridge. So we have the Spider-Man Johnny Storm team up. Sandy was heading towards Manhattan to look for me. Could he have had a hideout over the Jersey side of the river? Many years ago. On the other hand, take a fast look down there. We see some kids playing. Voila. Spider-Man beats up the guy. He's trying to rob that woman and her baby. You and your pretty head about anything. So the idea of was to have Spider-Man as kind of like a talk show host, interacting with other members of the Marvel Universe. And they tell you all later on that retcon, this is Misty Knight. They tell you John Byrne had said later on that this is Misty Knight in this comic book, and this is her first appearance. The Koopa doll is all yours, not to mention a few mice and Dale. Give us a break, man. We didn't hurt the broad or nothing. Yeah, sure, we'll give you a peace prize. Still, that's for the ladies to decide. What'll it be, gorgeous? Well, they didn't get away with it. And I think it is Christmas Eve. Maybe they just be held for a little while. Fuck it, just beat them up. You too, Web Weaver. You're a good friend of the Flying Bathtub. Merry Christmas. Maybe I should have worn my FF threads. All right, they're looking for the Sandman. Well, if you want me to just cut it, why the flame storm? Look down there. Truck out of control on the ice. Flame on. Spider-Man and the Human Torch shoot out the brakes, stop the car from crashing and killing a whole fucking shitload of people. New set of threads. Right in the heart of Newark if you don't watch your lip. I'll leave you right here, buddy. So then we got Spider-Man and Johnny Stormer in Jersey together. And I believe Jersey was where Metro U was. That's where Johnny Storm went to college. Spider-Man went to ESU, which I believe we use in our storyline. ESU, our fictional college. We've got the snow. They see the Sandman. Choked up, manic depressive. He's got girl problems. Shouldn't blame the Torch for doing the Scrooge bit. If I ever lost Gwen, I'd cry humbug. Sandman's hiding. Isn't this revealed that he's just going to get a gift for his kid? He beats up Spider-Man, beats up the Torch. What can I do with this? How can I do a cool entrance? A living sandstorm. Can't keep my flame on. Can't even breathe. I'm blacking out. Torch. So groggy I barely raise my hand. This hand, but I've got to. I'm with you, pal. So are you. So are you. Now he's a brick wall. Ere long, a rude awakening. Back from dreamland already. He's tying them up. He's about to go for a moonlight swim. He drops him in the ocean. Gotta check it out. But the way he's got us tied. Only one of us can breathe at a time. So got to dope this thing out in a hurry. Alright, so they escape. He flames on. Body he could stop blazing again. Face out of the water. Burn, baby, burn. They escape. They get out of their bonds. Escape the water tank. Still chasing after the Sandman. I got a long, peaceful like in a minute. All right, you've got us both whispering. Now spill the mystery. Okay, just keep it down. In a second, Mom. All right, so you know my secret. That's my mom in there. She's old and she's sick. And I always come home see her on Christmas Eve, no matter what. They give Sandman a present. This is your big heartfelt story. So now he just gave the present he was going to give to Gwen. Johnny Storm misses Crystal. Oh, we ended up reading a whole bunch of that cool stories about how he was dating Crystal from the Inhumans before she takes over for Sue Storm, when Sue Storm got pregnant with Franklin Storm. For all you comic book junkies out there, Mrs. Baker's universe, and she claims she's sound asleep, not to mention alone. With nothing but a few grains of sand in the bathroom sink. I can't imagine how they got in there. This way out, young man. Oh, isn't that nice? This was a Christmas issue that came out in fucking March. Always nice. We didn't get anything out of there, unfortunately, though. We are 3 comic books in, and there's nothing to use yet. We just keep challenging ourselves. So we continue, where I guess after their little Christmas truce, we got another fight on our hands here. So let's read this crossover here, because again, we're going to go all the way up to Marvel Team Up 4 before we twist on over back to Amazing Spider-Man, because there was a mention of a reference of Spider-Man getting some ergonomic shit with the X-Men. So this first class will be a long one. We've got to figure out river sounds, quiet twilight moanings of sea against the pilings, the soft fading wail of an upriver tugboat. Always nice to make a sail. These are the gentle sounds of an evening river, sounds that draw the tired, the bone-weary, sounds which attract people as different as morning and sunset. A blonde-haired Joe musing the effects of a world he doesn't understand. So why is he still depressed? He doesn't have to draw as another man, older yet, perhaps no wiser, lost as Johnny is in that all-consuming quest for understanding. Enter the world of the dreamers, and come with us on a new journey at the hands of these quiet guides. Meaning of love. So now Johnny Storm misses Crystal from the Inhumans. If you were a Fantastic Four reader, you know she's trapped inside that fucking little moon base. Eventually they get together, and again, Crystal takes over for Sue Storm. We're going to have to make a Fantastic Four strip poker piece. The tag's Nathaniel, lad. You'll want no more than that, I'll wager. You look to fit Buster Corkin. Nice, they're hanging there down at the bridge. I think of a blind old sot. Someone's fucking with him. I was young once too, you know. We all are, they tell me. Right now you're saying to yourself, what's the point? What's all the bloomin' matters? Johnny Storm's pining for his chick. I killed him, I have. Not quite, Nathaniel. Flame on, saints be praised. Go on the wagon again. Soon the last grey light of twilight, high over the mid-Manhattan area, a searching Johnny Storm finds the object of his medium quest, Spider-Man. Just the friendly wall caller I wanted to see. Looks like the art got a little bit better on this one. It's a Torch and Spider-Man. That's what they used to launch this new series. We worked together so well in that Sandman case, I thought we could talk, you know? Don't do me any favors, hothead. Playing counselor to some neurotic fantasies, sheesh, and I thought J. Jonah Jameson was bad. Now remember also in our AracKnight Returns storyline, J. Jonah Jameson has now been sworn in as the mayor. Even as they split apart, fate begins the weave which will draw them together again. As in a room in a building to the east of the swinging Spider-Man. There, he's the one who'll complete our little group once more. Will be the Frightful Four. If they want Spider-Man to be, you swear. I gotta score to some of that wisecracking punk. The wizard has other plans for our japing friend, since Madame Medusa left our little cadre for other pursuits. So Medusa was in the Frightful Four. She was the chick. So I'm gonna do a Fantastic Four strip poker piece where we're gonna have Medusa, Sue Storm, and Crystal of the Inhumans. All right, that's the piece that I'll give Iago to do. Iago needs a job. Fantastic Four strip poker. See, we just got our first commission tonight. Fantastic Four strip poker at the Baxter Building. Crystal of the Inhumans, Medusa, and Sue Storm. Especially in light of our present plan. We strike the Fantastic Four. He's drinking coffee. He's thinking about his chick. Wouldn't matter so much if Crystal were here. Blast, she's the cause of this whole thing after all. If only she'd come back to America with me. Yeah, Johnny, then what? There'll always be another if, won't there? Ah, forget it, Mr. Storm. If Reed were here, he'd mark it up to the youthful depression. And he'd probably be right. Wonder how they're all getting along in Chicago. So he's just chilling here by himself. Stay there, masked man. Spider-Man's hanging out. Somebody's unconscious. Smiling to himself, unaware that anything amiss, Johnny strides to the special express elevator in the lobby of the famed Baxter building. We're looking for a way of starting our new storyline. Oh! So this... Just 1 minute. That's the Sandman there behind you. What's the explanation, masked man? I think you're going to let me get a minute. That's right, Webhead. Hit him hard. So now Spider-Man what? It ain't Christmas anymore. I don't owe him nothing. Spider-Man, what's going on? Again and again, Spider-Man, like what? So they've tricked Spider-Man. They brainwashed him. That's over. The money's on the table. And now we'll play the big boys game for keeps. Keep you off your back. What's the matter, creep? Somebody lose a few teeth? Let them fight it out themselves. So these two have been tricked into fighting each other. That's usually the formula of a good team up. You got to see them fight first. They fight to a draw like Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels, the King of the Ring, and introduce the idea that they'll fight again later on. Now, we can't do a fight between Spider-Man and the Torch because the fucking Torch is on the Mars colony. Not going to make it any easier, are you? In case maybe I'll get fired up again. So Spider-Man's not talking, which means he's obviously brainwashed. Did I miss the fucking brainwashing? 1 second here. Frightful 4, that's Spider-Man. Yeah, where? I got a score to settle with the punk, then you figure wrongly. The Wizard's other plans. Okay, the situation was correct, especially in light of our present plan. The two of you follow me with luck, the Wizard's unparalleled genius. We strike at dawn. And we strike the Fantastic Four. Johnny's drinking his coffee. Do we even know why Spider-Man's fighting him? No. It's just Spider-Man answers the door. Probably a flashback. That you do, boy. We'll be waiting for you nice and behaved like. No answer, huh? Okay, so he's not answering. So Spider-Man's brainwashed. They beat up the security guard. Spider-Man's now beating up on the Torch. Okay, so now we're caught back up. So far, I'm not seeing enough to make me want to open with the Sandman. The same program over and over. Goons. They're fighting. Spider-Man's not talking. Right into our hands. Sinks quickly into nightmare, to a world where his darkest fears swarm like cinders through the blackness about him. A world where his silent scream is his only companion and the bitterness of an unwilling betrayal his constant haunt. Straight jacket. Torch is tied up. The Wizard's got him before dawn. I'm aware of that, Sandman, quite aware. This sort of thing mustn't be rushed, though. The equations involved in tapping the negative zone. Silence, you fools! The slightest miscalculation. Need I remind you that we're tampering with the most powerful forms of natural energy in the universe? Only the genius of a man like Reed Richards or like myself can fully comprehend the precise drainage available to machines like these. I must not be disturbed. So Spider-Man's brainwashed. Concentration. Oh, dear Lord. Who is this? Time itself seems to grind to a halt, and three men turn to unbelieving eyes to a mind-wrenching sight upon the glowing screen. Their mouths go dry. Their voices are still. All you can do is listen to the crackle of ethereal static. And then an echoing pronouncement. I am a nihilist. I sense you unaware of my nature, my existence. In my world I am supreme. I am lord of over all. And yet I've been defeated at the hands of Earthlings. So he's been defeated by the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. I don't know who the fuck a nihilist is. I haven't read enough Fantastic Four to get that far yet. I'm only 100 issues in. Feudal human. So they're fucking with powers they can control. He ducks out like a fucking Sandman pussy. He's the Blob. These bombs, you'll do nothing. I gotta get out of these bombs before these clouds wreck everything, increase my body heat, gets brittle. Flame on. Flame up. Get out of the straitjacket. Glad I haven't disappointed you. Sorry, I don't have the time to play with you, but you're gonna have to Forget it, pal. I figure you're not ready for the hell of a Nova-style fireball. See, I don't know yet. I said again, I'm not feeling the Sandman yet. I'll just blast him. Maybe not Wisemouth. Paste Pot Pete. Therefore, Spider-Man, kill him. Little time to battle ourselves. For each moment, this creature becomes stronger. So Annihilus almost comes through this dimensional portal while Spider-Man and Johnny Storm fight inside the Baxter building. The problem is we already used all this. We fought inside the Baxter building. It's important that you understand. You're a free man. Okay, Spider-Man gets out of his brainwashing. And they go beat the shit out of the wizard and fucking Paste Pot Pete here. He the Wheel Spider, that big, ugly, coming through Reach trans-temporal matter screen is called Annihilus. He's bigger and more powerful than ever before. Where is it? What have you done, you prick? Exactly, you puny human, and all of you, help us to cease that flow of life-building energy. The human race is doomed. Doomed! I mean, we could use the teleporter. You could go to the old Baxter building. It wasn't firebombed. We could revisit the I think we did the Baxter building. I don't know if we can use the Baxter building. I guess we use it later on, but we want to open with it? Do we want to open with it? Only a college brain like me would know if to pull the plug, just as I guessed. Your friend here was so busy gloating he forgot to maintain his rigid control. So Annihilus is sucked back in. Sandman is back. You know, Sandy, if I were the paranoid type, I might begin to think you don't like me. Keep it up, smart man. I'm going to shove my fist right down your fucking throat. Wouldn't be social. You know what I mean? Holy cow, how'd you do that? Sandy just woke up. He wasn't ready yet. And like our friend outside, he jumped the gun. Can you see that? Great. I'm proud of you, son. Stick with me and maybe someday, somehow we'll make something out of you. Swell. Might as well call the police. There's nothing else I can do. Officer, I'd like to report an attempted Baxter build. We did the Baxter build. We've done a lot of this already. Our goal right here. Let's go all the way up to Marvel Team Up 4. That's what they talked about. Now, if we get up to 4, hang on before we even do this. That is March 72. Really, same thing as. Is it all March 72? No. Oh, that's number 1. Yeah, okay. So chapter 2 was May of 72. This brings us to July of 72. And that would bring us all the way to September of 72. This is November, right? November 72. We're opening that up. So we're getting close. Full continuity jelly. All right. So now we have Spider-Man and the Human Torch teaming up to battle with Morbius, the living vampire. All right. Spider-Man teams up with the Human Torch. A few weeks ago, against the background rumblings of the nearby Harlem River Drive, the soft murmur of water lapping against the stone abutments goes almost unnoticed by two arguing figures, and yet again it is this sound with all of its attendant foreboding which again they divided attention. When are you going to learn? You're going to shine Mr. White Man's shoes all your life? So we're in Harlem. It's always nice to see all the different parts of the city. You're out of line. It's not my style. Morbius is coming up. Yo, your style don't maybe a college boy is going to muss his hands and likes of me. Oh, so they're fucking with Robbie Robinson. He's the big brother you're tracking on ice. Funny, I don't recall them being sainted. Don't get down on them, Jake. Tacker and the others are the right dudes. I say don't play games with Scott. No, Jefferson, not me. I've had it with you, little man. You and your goons you call friends. You want to burn some buildings? Go ahead. Don't bother coming home when you're done. All right, so we got two kids fighting in Harlem. Something stings the eyes of Jefferson Bolt. Fists unclenching at his sides, he begins to turn away. Jesus! carrying him forward. He jumps in the water. And under an ageless moon, young muscles strain, life for life, young battling death. Earlier bitterness is lost, replaced with grim concern. His voice tense. Jefferson speaks, afraid. Afraid there'll be no answer. Hey, mister, you okay? When a man called Morbius is weak, he must feed. Oh, this kid's dead. So they set up this fucking kid just to get bitten by a vampire. Pale light from a new full moon. The cold rush of bitter wind past hidden features. The distant wail of traffic hundreds of yards below. Suddenly it all seems to shatter, broken by an abrupt shudder which sweeps through the certain swinging form. All right, Jerry Conway. Twitch to fall and close. As though the night the youth known as Spider-Man finds himself cast adrift, his very nerves seem to scream, blinded by some inner fever. Slipping. What happened to me back there? 1 minute I'm swinging along like good old Spidey should. The next somebody pulls the plug out of my brain. Bit of the flu. Spider-Man's got the flu. Word sways, a foot gives, he falls off a fucking building. Backs the building. This is a lot of really just giving a rub for the Torch. Obviously, the Human Torch needed a rub. Let's dive into something, man. So we got the Thing is watching Archie Bunker. All right. The more sillier title. Hey, what's the matter? I don't know who you are, lady, but you look like you just lost your best friend. Uh-oh, hey, Reed, hey, Sue. Please, Mr. Grimm, I'll be all right. It's just been so hard. Yeah, look, I've had people faint on me before, lady. So this is appearance by the Fantastic Four. Benjamin Green should be ashamed of yourself. What do you mean, blue eyes? Must have missed something. We'll know in a moment, Johnny. I trust that things happen. Once I trusted him, I would have given him my life. So this is Morbius' wife here. I started on the yacht he rented when I discovered his assistant, my friend, dead, his skin whiter than could be ever normal. One as strong as Nikos had been. So Morbius killed somebody with her. Discovering my beloved Michael... Oh, no, this is Michael Morbius' chick. In a desperate gamble, he developed an enzyme which could strengthen his blood count. But it made him into a vampire! Morbius! Michael Morbius. My God, the Nobel Prize winner. I'm gonna go fuck him up, says the Torch. Flame on, you motherfucker. I'm gonna get your chick. Something Spider-Man told me last time we met about how he battled some clown called Morbius. This is when Spider-Man fought Morbius when he had the 6 arms. Ah, yes, way back in 102. See, we finished with that. That was one of Stanley's last stories. So now we got him spying over the Queens. The Torch is flying over the city. It's always fun to see the way New York City was drawn by the artists back then in the 70s, how they fantasized with New York, the Pan Am building, the fighting. Johnny searches. Searches! You've been a friend, Jefferson Bolt, yet now I must go. These past weeks, my strength, letting my body redevelop that lost enzyme. So he didn't even kill this kid. Oh, no, he did. He's a vampire. Okay. You let me see the way true things are. Is that what you've learned? Life over death, above all else. Life must survive. You've become what I've become. I could see it in your eyes. A vampire, oh, Levin, what have I done? It was not my sin. It was not great enough to seal myself in this damnable coil. The kid wants to be a vampire. Jefferson Bolt. I like that name. We both work at the campus tonight, Muckleworth. Like you would never believe it. All right, so this kid's going to fuck some shit up. We're in Bayside, Queens. Somebody's using my head for a golf tee. He's got the flu. Takes off the old... Well, maybe my bio teacher, Professor Jorgensen, can clear things up. How do I ask about letting on that I'm Spider-Man? Parker, you become something simple, something safe, like a green beret. All right, so Peter goes to class, but he's got the flu. Terrific. I shouldn't have told Storm I take classes here. Throughout history, men have wondered at those sometimes crucial coincidences, those twists of destiny which bring men together against all reason. Such a coincidence brings us here to a man called Hans Jorgensen. The faithful crux of our story, the man sought by three separate factions, the man who holds answers for them all. Similar decay. So this was, the idea was that he had a blood disease, Michael Morbius, and the enzyme he developed turned him into a fucking vampire. Are we ready to go vampires yet in our sequel? The Human Torch comes and interrupts the class. He's got to take on Michael Morbius. I must protest just too much. Spider-Man and the Torch show up. They brawl inside the classroom. Look, Professor, I'm sure I barged in. I'm afraid I've become something of an ogre in front of a class. They drink some coffee. They chat. Michael Morbius is dead. No, he's a fucking vampire. There's no such thing as vampires. Until he kills the drunk. But, brother, is that? Figures you'd see it that way. Kind of sorry for old Doc Jorgensen. I can understand how he feels. The campus, but then Jefferson Bolt. Jacob Bolt. I like the Bolt brothers. They catch Morbius killing some fucking bum. They fight. They punch. They punch some more. That's enough. We need to save him. We got to save his blood. But he's a fucking vampire. He's a piece of shit. The sun is going to kill him. He's too much flu symptoms to shoot his webbing. They tackle him at the same time. He fucks him up. Jefferson Bolt comes in. Everybody's vampires. They're throwing dirt. They're throwing fucking mud. They're throwing dog shit. Everybody's fucking up Spider-Man and the Torch. Everyone's a goddamn vampire. Then Jacob got killed. He realized, holy shit, you piece of shit, you killed my brother. You killed my brother. Prepare to die. Unlikely origin. They turn to the sound of gentle sobbing. He's dead. He was gone for a month, and now he's gone forever. So what, they didn't turn to the vampires? In the end, he made me understand what it means to be a man. You know, Torch, there's hope for you yet, old buddy. What did I miss here? He broke his neck. Then what is he, Jefferson Bolt? Don't you see they're all alike? Limp on the greedy hands of the battle-crazed Morbius. Even as he starts over his eyes wide at the sight of his prodigal brother, Jacob Bolt goes suddenly limp. He broke his fucking neck. I thought he killed him. Or he was about to bite him? He's biting him! Wait a second. Gotta go back here. I'm very curious. They just fight. He just turns those people against him, right? You're gonna kill that guy, Spider-Man. Is that what you're trying to do? Let go of me, you crazy kid. Can't you see I'm trying to? He sees enough, my friend. And like all mere men, he assumes what he must. That is why Morbius and his kind must ever be triumphant. You guys heard my brother. Those costume freaks were trying to kill that dude. Are we gonna let them? You gonna let him, are we? Wait a second, that's not okay. So that's where it all comes from. But I guess he saves his brother before he can bite him. And he snaps his fucking neck. And gets away. I never knew him, kid. But maybe it wasn't what you did wrong that counts. But what you did right. That made him in the end understand what it means to be a man. Well, he saved him from killing him, but then he got killed himself. All right. Up. I'm not a fan of these fucking stories so far. Jerry Conway, Jesus Christ, hope you got your shit together. Now remember, they made reference all the way up to X-Men 4, so that's as far as we'll go here. And right now, we don't have anything for our 2 pages. This is taking some time. But again, we don't force it. We want to get our pages. So we'll go through this issue, then we're going back to Amazing Spider-Man. I'll take it. All right. Excuse me. Spider-Man and the X-Men. This time you pushed us too far, Wall Crawler. All right, so Spider-Man's teaming up with the X-Men here. So no more fucking Human Torch? Good. All right, good. 1/3 of our natural lifespan covered by the gracious cloth we name sleep. All right, well, this is some good. Conway's a great writer. Yet for some of those, resting hours are less than gentle, the cloth rough and harsh. For some of us, as the fevered youth named Peter Parr. So Peter's still fucking up from a fever from last issue. We see Gil Kane, who was on Amazing Spider-Man, take over. So no, the art's going to be better. He wakes up in Harry's. Always loved Gil Kane's art. Gil Kane's a great artist. Peter's having fevers because he just fought the fucking vampire. Harry's going out in a zoot suit. Real neat and necessary. After all, it wouldn't do for the lovable old Harry to vow that his mild and retiring roommate is actually Spider-Man. I'm going to go out for a fucking swing. Something to do with Morbius. Ever since the Torch and I fought against him, Morbius is laid low. There's one place he's bound to show sooner or later, and I'll kill two birds, one stone, science professor. So this science professor, Hans Jorgensen, has developed an enzyme that would reverse a certain form of leukemia. Morbius wants it for himself. So can we involve some sort of an enzyme? Is that what we're going to work into our story? I'm absconding with you, Hans, old friend. It appears you've discovered the origins of my life-giving enzyme, transforming me into a hollow-boned shadow of my former self. The biological chemicals will reverse the deterioration of my white blood cells. So he wants this guy to help him cure him. Nice old Professor Jorgensen. Peter gets there, but of course he gets there too late. She sees Spider-Man and faints. Spider-Man, of course, takes the fucking heat. When last we spoke, his concern for his colleague and student Michael Morbius. Perhaps there's a connection. And as if there is, Charles A cannot avert his eyes or his brain. Then something uncanny occurs. Something some men might call surreal or perhaps impossible. The mind of Charles Xavier reaches out to a distant room of his many-leveled private school. And there he finds two more minds, two utterly fantastic human beings. One known as the Angel, the other simply as the Iceman. All right, so he calls in the X-Men. Jean Grey, I need you at once, Professor. Satisfied, the released mind moves outward. The cloistered wall tends to a tended garden. So they were really still wearing these stupid outfits in the 70s? This was 9 years after their debut. Yes, others. Come, get Hank McCoy. Thoughts gather, pause, then thrust across the miles to a Long Island research plant. And one very special research scientist. I can't come now. Find out why in Astonishing Tales. All right, so you see that Marvel Universe forever building. Astonishing Tales is another storyline we'll have to get on our list for future research. Let's write that down. Astonishing Tales. You know I won't press you, Hank, but yet I cannot help but feel that something's wrong. Please, sir, I told you before, it's nothing I can't handle alone. He became the star of Astonishing Tales, huh? Brooding the mind returns to its corporal form, and the sprawling Westchester School, a grim sigh, seems to tremble in the very walls. Come, my X-Men. The old colleague was kidnapped. You'll have to go fuck up Spider-Man. So this is Gil Kane drawing the X-Men. It's okay. It's kind of fun. We're going through the old Spider-Man comic books. Why is this sideways? Contemplating he's groomed, wondering, praying values against good values. What the fuck? That was weird. 7 hours later, the concrete grin called Manhattan, the web-slinging hero named Spider-Man. So the X-Men are up there in Westchester. Spider-Man swinging around to cut loose. Angel comes in. And they think he's the one that's kidnapped, of course. Now the Iceman comes in. Iceman, then I'm fighting the X-Men, but why? The name of J. Jonah Jameson do you guys want? Spider-Man hits him with the old fucking Hurricanrana, whips his ass into a fucking wall. I like that. Jean Grey is a powerful telepath. How come she's not doing anything? Cyclops is shooting at him. It's not working. Scotty keeps dodging almost. He can sense each blast before it struck. Lady, you said it. So his spider sense is keeping him at bay. He beats up on Iceman. Jean's got him in a little force bubble. Chance to talk. Got a funny way of starting a conversation, fellow. Not if you'll excuse me. Don't think it, Professor. I guess we all got the same idea. We'll get him back to you pronto. Spider-Man has 4 hours to live. Oh, so Spider-Man's got a little virus in him. Now be silent, all of you, to save our friend. Total concentration. Let me get through the depths of his mind. Delves through the darkness of the human mind. He finds visions. He sees Spider-Man fighting with the Lizard and Morbius, the 6 arms, the injection from the blood toxin. 4 Freak removed his arms. I see, with that injection he took that removed his arms. Interesting. So it's poisoning him. Michael Morbius kidnapped him, not Spider-Man. And so that tortured youth will die and die horribly if certain adjustments are made to the... So maybe we can get into the idea of Spider-Man getting a blood disease. Something happening from the spider. Maybe he's cursed. Remember, we're going through all this to find what we could do here. Our goal is to come up with a story better than our AracKnight story. We're going up here. So we're doubling up on the research titles. And our goal is a 5-chapter sequel to our 4-chapter graphic novel. It will not be easy. This is why we do this. We do this for the challenge. Plus, it's fun to kind of travel through Spider-Man history. Jorgensen will help me change that. He would. We can introduce the idea of Spider-Man's blood. That's what we had used. Remember, we showed in AracKnight 1, Norman Osborn injects himself in the heart with it. So remember, we have in our universe, we have the Green Goblin. We have the dead, lifeless body of Dr. Octopus with his brain. His body is gone. They have the brain. We have the Lizard in a Bacta tank. We have word was put out to the Vulture, to the Sandman, to Mysterio, to Electro. They're out there. We've got 120 pages we're looking to write. We got to find our beginning. We are mining through the old Spider-Mans. The Night Stalker. Not when I've got my concrete against his palms. So Morbius is just killing some motherfuckers. Now Angel's flying around. He sees, holy shit. That vampire is killing somebody. He flies away. 2nd Avenue. I think I found Morbius, but you're not going to believe what you see. They said, holy shit, he's a vampire, dude. He turns up. Something in the snarl with which he greets and sends a sudden chill through their spine. He's mad, hopelessly, irrecoverably insane. I mean, we can do Morbius, man. Morbius can be our fucking villain if that's what works. If that's what fate puts in front of us. Morbius now fucking brawls with the X-Men. So at the time, I don't think the X-Men were even running. They might have been out of syndication at this point when they were running like reprints for a while because the story kind of sucked. And then Chris Claremont and John Byrne came in and just fucking turned it into something awesome. This is 1972. They might even be into syndication. Jean Grey's in college. Look at those titties. Thank God, I'm sure you will agree. As you no doubt notice, I'm a desperate man. Desperation adds strength to my already powerful grip. Enough strength to crush any resistance, my darling. Isn't she a powerful telepath? So do I, Morbius, and as I'm told, I'm not quite finished. All right, so he banks it. Not quite at all. He banked it off the wall and shot him in the head. I like that. You said it, Mr. Summers. We've got Morbius, but how do we find Professor Jorgensen? Quiet, Bobby. There's a dangerous way, perhaps effective. You always have to do his voice from like the animated series when you voice Professor Xavier. I want to connect with Morbius. Yes, we found the professor. So now Spider-Man's back awake. Morbius, you're a lucky young man, my friend. Another few moments, you would have been a dead one. So they saved Spider-Man's blood. So there was something in that toxin of Morbius's blood. Something that interacted with my own and attacking my entire system. Great. How come I'm not 6 feet under, or am I? This is hardly paradise, my friend, though it would have been founded, I think, if Charles had lent me to the use of his equipment. We inoculated you with an extract of the original enzyme. A difficult procedure, but luckily quite efficient. Looks like I owe you my life, Professor. Not him, Spider-Man, her. Well, without Jean, well, heck, true is, if she hadn't found me, I would have never performed the necessary computations in time. Apparently, the accolade is universal, Jean. Oh, they all love Jean. Don't, Professor. After all, I really can't thank all of you guys. But as for the Lady Jean, look at that. Spider-Man kisses her. I like it. I didn't see that coming. Spider-Man makes out with Jean Grey in Marvel Team Up number 4. I like it. And then he jumps out the fucking window. That's a great ending. I wonder, Jean. I truly wonder. So Spider-Man and Jean Grey. I could maybe work with that. Art-wise. Spider-Man, Jean Grey. Can I have artists that can do these kind of covers? We could do the upside down kiss with Jean Grey instead of Mary Jane. I like that. Marvel team up. Spider-Man and Jean Grey do the upside down kiss. Mature and sexy. That I like. The eyes of the basilisk. All right, so we're going to stop on Marvel Team Up number 5 here, I think, just for now. Let's get there. We'll stay here for a second. Retrieve. All right, so we're at 5 here. We're going to stop here on this one. And again, we don't have anything. We're looking for 12 panels. We went through some stuff. We're trying to trigger our brain here. We went through the old issues, the last novel, to see where we are with the rest of our characters. Can we do a James Bond-like beginning where we just introduce the villain? Is it just literally just Sandman popping up on the fucking beach? We've got a gang war in these issues here with Spider-Man and Hammerhead. So let's now go to another issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Do we go into the lair of Norman Osborn? I like the Sandman. I'm just trying to figure out if we just bring him right in. What do we want to do here? The AracKnight Returns. We don't just do a throwaway villain at the beginning, unless you want to do, again, we always like the James Bond beginning, where we do a cool cutaway introduction, then we start our story. Let's see what we got here. So Spider-Man in the harness. So Commissioner Stacy, I think, is dead already. Hammerhead. This is him wearing the makeshift suit. All right. This is a gang war with Hammerhead. Play Godfather. All right, so Godfather's already out. Get Masked Creep. Spider-Man fighting with Hammerhead and Dr. Octopus, who's left for dead up there. Spider-Man has this harness on to give him some superpowers. He's still getting over the flu that he had, the enzyme shit in his system. You just made it personal. So this is a gang war. He punches him in the head and nearly breaks his fucking hand. Hammerhead. We can do Hammerhead as a throwaway. The How is my secret, one I'm even going to keep. Your average boastful villain web spinner, Hammerhead. Under more pleasant circumstances, I might aid you in killing him, Hammerhead, but now we're mortal enemies. You and I, and Otto Octavius finds himself in the unenviable position of needing an unwilling ally. Even an ally such as Spider-Man. Octopus, you fool, you just spoiled my aim, so I just grazed him. Precisely my plan, dear adversary. Every setback to you is a victory for me. You hope, pal? I'm going to destroy you, Octavius. I'm going to wipe you out. Men such as the gunsels of this car already moving to the attack. The attack will be futile and fail. Do we want Sandman washing up on a beach? No, there is no beach. This is Empire City. There is no beach. There's no shoreline. Do you show just Empire City looking cool? Talking about Spider-Man as the toast of the town. The final moments, Dr. Octopus will triumph, claiming the city as his own. So we did all this. This is stuff we kind of all used already. We haven't used Hammerhead. We could bring in Hammerhead for a nice fucking opening scene. Again, we don't want to force it. We're trying to feel the energy here. The gang leader's words seem to echo through the haze, filling our hero's barely conscious mind. For Peter. He's still looking around for Aunt May. Aunt May is hiding out at Dr. Octopus's house. We know this, but we're not up to that part yet. The boss wants to talk with her. He don't like to be kept wait and see. Oh, give the guy a chance, Porky. Can't you see he's sick? Shut up, Myrna. All right, Hammerhead. Oh, honey, he's really sweet. Promise you won't hurt him much, huh? Shut up, Myrna. Stripes really give me a pain. Well, Myrna's cute. You know, I hate these conferences, baby. If it's okay, I'm going to go for a walk. That's a promise. Well, Mister, you're one dead wall caller. Big words, little man. Why should a goon need a gun to be tough? All right, so Hammerhead's a big deal. I don't play tough, Bright Eyes. I am tough. For the answer to these questions, an answer which applies to each, we must turn our mental eye backward to a day not many years ago on a shadowed side street in the section of Manhattan known as the Bowery. The Bowery where many lives end, and one life now begins. The old man was Harrow, Jonas Harrow, a former surgeon, discredited for quite traditional reasons involving certain unhappy experiments. All right, so this could come in handy. So now we're getting somewhere. Remember, Norman Osborn is now in hiding. He has in his possession the body, the brain of Dr. Octopus, Dr. O, the body of the lizard, Kirk Connors, and his goblin tech. Or whatever he was able to salvage maybe one thing, of course. After Dr. O blew everything up. So maybe he needs this Dr. Jonas Harrow. Now remember, okay, now I'm getting, all right, getting a little inspiration here. Remember the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises, where we have that doctor, that Dr. Pavel is captured from the plane with the CIA guys? Oh, I like this, Jonas Harrow. But Jonas Harrow could be getting transported. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. Jonas Harrow, a former surgeon discredited for quite traditional reasons involving certain unhappy experiments. Oh, I like where we're going. See, you go through the mining. Remember the beginning of Dark Knight Rises. Okay, let's just play around here for a second. We can't show the footage because then we'll get flagged. All right, here we go. Rises. All right. Bane, a former member of the League of Shadows, leads an attack on a CIA plane over Uzbekistan to abduct nuclear physicist Dr. Leonard Pavel and fake Pavel's death in the crash. Meanwhile, 8 years after the death of Gotham City District Attorney Harvey Dent and the rest of the Joker, organized crime has been eradicated in Gotham by the Dent Act, legislation that gives expanded powers to the police. Police Commissioner James Gordon has kept Dent's killing spree a secret and allowed the blame. Okay, fuck that. Okay. They capture the doctor from a plane. All right, so here we go. The old man's name was Harrow, Dr. Jonas Harrow. Former surgeon discredited for quite traditional reasons involving certain unhappy experiments. As for the gunman he discovered in that lonely alleyway, beaten and disfigured delirious with pain. Let's go back one more page. You have been pretty patient so far, reader. Maybe we haven't been quite as fair as who we could be. Who is the man who calls himself Hammerhead? Where does he come from? What does he want? Or maybe the most important question, what carefully concealed secret makes him one of the most powerful villains of all? For the answer to these questions, an answer which applies to each, we must turn our mental eye backward to a day not many years ago. Okay, we did this. Harrow. As for the gunman he discovered in that lonely alleyway, beaten and delirious with pain, his name is gone, lost with so many other things in that wounded brain. The brain Jonas Harrow sought to repair. Oh my God, we have Dr. O's brain. Recognizing one last desperate chance to redeem his lost reputation, as well as to save a quickly fading life. For 3 days, Jonas Harrow labored, replacing shattered bone with unbendable steel alloy. And for 3 days, the nameless patient dreamed, his mind filled with images from the movie poster he glimpsed in his last conscious moment. Neither Harrow nor the man whose life he saved ever learned the gunman's true identity, or why he was beaten and left to die. It no longer mattered. The man was dead, and only a haunted hammerhead survived. Well, Buster, you in or not? Oh, yes. All right, we have our opening. Here we go. We're bringing in the vulture. All right. We have a plane. The idea is we're going to have a plane leaving Madripoor, skybound for the vault, where a doctor's being moved. Jonas Harrow is being moved. Or he could be busting him out of prison. No, because you can't get to the vault. The vulture could steal Jonas Harrow. We know the vulture is going to capture this doctor right now. Shield agents. Okay, so let's do the art direction. Let's turn my keyboard on here. Where's my lit up keyboard? There's my lit up keyboard. All right. Jonas Harrow's a fucking brain surgeon. He's going to get captured now to help Norman Osborn's going to have him captured. There's no minions. He doesn't have minions, so he has the vulture. And maybe the vulture is capturing this same doctor to hold at ransom for Norman Osborn. Either way, I think we're bringing in the fucking vulture. We're skyjacking the fucking plane, baby. See? Inspiration. Where is my lit up fucking keyboard? Why is it not staying lit? Right. We see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. Open with our dialogue in a second. Let's get our art direction going. Here we see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. Coming closer into view is a plane is what looks like. No, is a plane. What looks like is a plane coming close into view is a plane heading towards Empire City. Coming into the plane, viewing into the plane, we see. Do we want other people besides Jonas Harrow? We see a doctor. We see what looks like a Hannibal Lecter type doctor being sitting in restraints in the center of the plane. He is flanked by armed guards. We can make out shield insignias. No, we should have shield just flanked by armed guards. Unless it's not like is he not a prisoner? No, he should be a prisoner. He should be a prisoner. He shouldn't be a prisoner. He shouldn't be a prisoner. It's too obvious. He should be coming in. He should be coming in with like fucking pomp and circumstance. He should be coming in like a fucking badass. Like, yeah, all right. We see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. We'll get into the dialogue in a second. Let's get the art laid out. Coming closer to view is a plane heading towards Empire City. Viewing the plane, we see what looks like a Hannibal Lecter type doctor sitting in first class, like accommodations, while being flanked by armed guards. He looks like the type of evil doctor that a Bond villain would hire. I like this. We're changing it up a little bit. So he's not a prisoner. Well, maybe he should be a fucking prisoner, but we're stealing the prisoner idea from Dark Knight Rises. We just have him coming in. He's coming in. Norman Osborn's trying to get him to come in. The Vulture. We could have the Vulture and the fucking Sandman team up. Maybe our first two pages right there is the Vulture stealing the Doctor and the Sandman stealing something by sea. By air or by sea. Oh, I fucking like where we're going here. See? You fucking rip through the comic books till inspiration strikes. Viewing into the plane, we see what looks like a Hannibal Lecter type doctor sitting in first class like combinations while being flanked by armed guards. He is obviously being flown in by someone rich via private plane, via private jet. Fucking influencer style, It's a Hannibal Lecter type doctor sitting in first class like accommodations, being flanked by armed guards. He is obviously being flown in by someone rich via private jet. He looks the type of evil doctor that a Bond villain would hire. This is where we're explaining who the doctor is. Close-up of the doctor. Close-up of Dr. Harrow. Uh, we see the Hannibal Lecter looking Dr. Jonas Harrow. Close-up of Dr. Harrow gulping down bite of steak as there is a rumbling from outside the cabin. As effects of the rumbling. You have the old joke, it's a bird, it's a plane, you know? You could show a very, very inclusive skyjacking. Or you could have a ship coming into the docks where you have J. Jonah Jameson, Betty Brant. Betty Brant's like our Lois Lane, our Miss Moneypenny. Robbie Robertson's going to be running the paper now because we've moved J. Jonah Jameson to the mayor's office. There'll be a hit on Mayor Jameson. We have Commissioner Stacy in our storyline. We have a vast universe of characters here to play with. Close-up of Dr. Harrow gulping down a bite of steak as there is a rumbling from outside the cabin. S effects of the rumbling. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward as it appears someone had jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it. Chaos ensues as several guards are sucked out of the windows. Chaos ensues as several guards are sucked out of the windows. Sucked out of the windows. Dr. Harrow frantically holds onto his seatbelt as the force of suction nearly sucks him out. Do we want that? No, because is would the vulture just crash the plane and suddenly thrust forward as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it? I don't want chaos ensues as several guards are sucked out of the windows. Nah, not that. You gotta make it more cool, more skillful. He doesn't just crash the fucking plane. Because anybody could do that. Anybody could shoot the plane out of the sky. You want it to be interesting. Dr. Harrow and the crew suddenly thrust forward as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it. SFX of the turbulence. Effects of the turbulence. So okay, you have the close-up and like there's rumbling on the outside. As it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it. SFX of the turbulence. It's a great introduction for the vulture. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward. As it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is attempting to sabotage it. SFX of the turbulence. Chaos ensues as several guards. Now, I don't want to suck that out. Again, that's too easy. Armed guards turn and focus their guns towards the cockpit door. There we go. Towards the cockpit door, where we hear the sounds of the pilots having their necks snapped. There we go. Next, sliced. SFX of the slicing from behind the cockpit door. The armed guards turn and focus their guns towards the cockpit door. We hear the sounds of the pilots having their necks sliced. Ooh, I like this. So we're going to have a team up here. We're going to fucking show the Sandman and the Vulture teaming up to fuck up Norman Osborn's attempts to escape from his lair. Oh, we got lairs, motherfucker. All right. Behind the cockpit door. Let's get one more panel in here because we got a close-up shot. The cockpit door slides open, and the guards open fire. You see the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. SFX of the gunfire. SFX of the gunfire. Cockpit door slides open, and the guards open fire. You see the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. SFX of the gunfire. So what does he throw? So the vulture now, should we have him kill the guards? Or does he just fucking use something to crash the windows? Like buzzsaws? Does he shoot out buzzsaws? Like, what does the vulture do? Let's write the dialogue first. We got page 1 done, I'm excited to say. Dun, 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 dun. Ja, dun, dun, dun. Hey, we got fun. and B is the best in the land. We're true to you, P. You smell busted teeth and go to hell. So you get the art part first, then we write the dialogue. So it's a year. It's been a year. Right. So we got page one, the art part. We see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. Do we have J. Jonah Jameson or Betty Brant? Always Betty Brant. Betty Brant provides the narration. What do we want Spider-Man? Would we like the idea of Betty Brant being the one? We see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. Betty Brant provides the narration. Well, Peter Parker provides the narration. What do we want Betty Brant? We want it to be like a storyline, kind of like we do our old Frank Miller thing. The AracKnight Returns. A year ago, I like Betty Brant better, unless we're telling a darker story. Let's do the dialogue first and then figure out who the fuck is doing it. Betty Brant. Good morning, Empire City. This is Betty Brant of the Daily Bugle. Good morning, Empire City. This is Betty Brant of the Daily Bugle. We left things off. Peter was swinging around the city. He's now the Spider-Man. He's the AracKnight. We see Empire City glowing in the distance of our opening over the vast ocean beyond the metropolis. Good morning, Empire City. This is Betty Brant of the Daily Bugle. And we open our story with a milestone marker. A year ago, our metropolis was thrown into utter chaos as a madman attempted to hold his city hostage, exposing our leader as a murderer and a fraud. But we want to get into that afterwards. A year ago, our metropolis was thrown into utter chaos as a madman attempted to hold this city hostage, exposing our leader as a murderer and a fraud, and nearly succeeding in his quest for our annihilation. But our kingdom was saved. But our kingdom was saved. Good morning, Empire City. This is Betty Brandt of the Daily Bugle, and we open our story with a milestone marker. A year ago, our metropolis was thrown into utter chaos, as a madman attempted to hold this city hostage, exposing our leader as a murderer and a fraud, and nearly succeeding in his quest for our annihilation. But our kingdom was saved. Coming closer into view is a plane heading towards Empire City. But our kingdom was saved. Our empire reborn. I like that. See, there's a nice opening. But our kingdom was saved, and our empire reborn. Coming closer into view is a plane heading towards Empire City. Coming closer into view is a plane heading towards Empire City. Coming closer into view is a plane heading towards Empire City. Oh, me? Betty Brandt. Our empire reborn. As part of the rebuilding process of the reconstruction. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process. Our new mayor has vowed to bring in as part of the reconstruction and redemption process. Our new mayor has vowed to bring in some of the brightest minds Our new mayor has vowed to bring in some of the brightest minds in the world. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process, our new mayor has vowed to bring in some of the brightest minds, not brightest. Vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. Our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds. Our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. Surgeons, scientists, and swordsmen. Surgeons, scientists, and swords. I like that. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process, our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. Surgeons, scientists, and swords. For not just the benefit of the empire, our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. surgeons, scientists, and swords, for not just the benefit of the empire, but to spread that wealth and knowledge, back to the wastelands below. As Empire City vows, surgeons, scientists, and swords, for not just the benefit of the empire, but to spread that wealth and knowledge back to the wastelands below. As Empire City vows to no longer hover above the shadows, but to be the bringers of light. I like that. Viewing into the plane, we see the Hannibal Lecter looking Dr. Jonas Harrow sitting in first class like accommodations are being flanked by armed guards. He is obviously being flown in by someone rich via private jet. He looks like the type of evil doctor that a Bond villain would. Okay, so what we do is we're leading into the idea that she says, we're bringing in brilliant minds, wealth, and knowledge to the wastelands below. Empire City vows to no longer hover above the shadows, but to be the bringers of light. So now we lead into this plane, and we think, oh well, this guy's obviously one of those guards, one of those brilliant minds. I like this. Betty Brant is not talking about Dr. Jonas Harrow. She's just talking about brilliant minds. We think that he's one of these brilliant minds, but in actuality, of course, he is not. Narrative box. Dr. Jonas Harrow. Once the world's foremost brain surgeon. Discredited for quite traditional reasons involving certain unhappy experiments. Dr. Jonas Harrow. Once considered to be the second best. You can make a little joke, a little nod towards Doctor Strange. Once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world. Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world. Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world. Discredited and disbarred. Discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional. Discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. Discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world, discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. Hey, send me that shit. discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. A fugitive who spent a fugitive who spent the last discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. A fugitive who spent the last few years toiling in the black a fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc a fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc in the black market organ trade. Oh, yes. Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world, discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. A fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc in the black market organ trade. Close up of Dr. Harrow gulping down a bite of steak as there is a rumbling from outside the cabin. Someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on a private jet from Madripoor. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on a private jet from Madripoor. On the Concorde, not a private jet. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde. In order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. SFX of the rumbling. Boom. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward, as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it. SFX of the turbulence. Sabotage it. SFX of the turbulence. SFX. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward, as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it while entering through the cockpit. Braking and entry. Someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. Like it. Narrative books. There were rumors. I mean, we have Betty Brant being the one that's talking about all this, like doing one of her one of her, investigative stories. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process, our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. Surgeons, scientists, and swords. For not just the benefit of the Empire, but to spread that wealth and knowledge back to the wastelands below. As Empire City vows to no longer hover above the shadows, but be the bringers of light. Fuck the narrative box. Enter Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world. Discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. A fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc in the black market organ trade. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. The mayor has denied all rumors. The mayor has denied all rumors that he brought The mayor has denied all rumors that he brought in the mayor has denied all rumors that he brought in Dr. Harrow. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport. And has repeatedly commented that the brain has repeatedly commented that the brain and body. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. Octopussy. No, Dr. O. The man responsible for last year's attack on the city, attack on the Empire. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. That sounds kind of cheesy. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport. And plans have him arrested upon arrival. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow was being brought in as a way of tapping it, was being brought in. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow was being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow was being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe that the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology. But those same insiders say that the brain, but those same insiders say that this living brain has gone missing. Oh, yes, now I'm happy. The armed guards turn and focus their guns towards the cockpit door, where we hear the sounds of the pilots having their necks sliced, as effects of the slicing from behind the cockpit door. Pilots being not sliced, pilots being electrocuted. Maybe even have a rumor. You could play around with the idea. Maybe it's Electra, where we hear the sounds of the pilots being electrocuted, as effects of the slicing from beyond the cockpit door. Gone missing. Of the electrocution. Of the execution via electrocution from behind the cockpit door. SFX of the executions via electrocution from behind the cockpit door. You know, it takes a while, but I don't give a shit. It's fun. I love making comic books. The armed guards turn and focus their guns towards the cockpit door, where we hear the sounds of the pilots being electrocuted. SFX of the executions via electrocution from behind the cockpit door. Brain has gone missing. Let's we divide that dialogue up here. Rest of the promo arrival. So we want to move that. Okay. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow was being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Now, we're going to move this over here. That fits better here. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow is being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology. But those same insiders say that this living brain has gone missing. See, again, you have them executions from behind the door. I like it. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. While considered brilliant and innovative, he is still a mad scientist. And our new mayor has vowed not to shake the devil's hand. And our new mayor has vowed not to shake the devil's hand, a la his predecessor. See, I like that. A la his predecessor. The armed guards turn and focus their guns towards the cockpit door, where we hear the sounds of the pilots being electrocuted. All right. As effects of the executions via electrocution from behind the door. Many insiders believe that Dr. Harrow is being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe that the brain carries the secrets. Some scientists believe that the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology. But those same insiders say that this living brain has gone missing. The cockpit door slides open and the guards open fire. We see the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. The cockpit door slides open and the guards open fire. We see the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. SFX of the gunfire. For a nice stretch, peace and prosperity. Seems I get this eerie feeling. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new line of chess pieces are now, that a new block, that a new pack, that a new pack After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table. I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table. Chess pieces are being gathered. And the game pieces are being placed into line. Like it. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table, and the game pieces are being placed into line. All right. The cockpit door slides open and the guards open fire. See the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly, like a hawk, like an assassin. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Where we see the knife and fork. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Where we see the knife and fork from Dr. Harrow's dinner plate magnetically fly up and towards the guards. We see the knife and fork both plunge into the necks of the guards, into the throats of the guards, killing them instantly. We see the knife and fork both plunge into the throats of the guards, killing them instantly. I mean, he doesn't have magnetic powers. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. We see the knife and fork from I don't like that's cheesy. That's too Magneto. All right, so we got to this part. Dr. Jonas Harrow, unbendable steel alloy. replacing shattered bone with unbendable steel alloy. Hammerhead was born. So he wants Spider-Man to join him, his crew. We get. See, it's funny. We just saw him with the X-Men in there in Westchester. Dr. Octopus lives in a house in Westchester. Keep your eye on him, Bird. I'll call the boss. And they're going to have a showdown in Westchester where we reveal that Aunt May is working for Dr. Octopus. Westchester got himself a real little palace. Just him and some old broad. No guards, eh? A real setup. You and Bert stay on the spot. Old broad, could that be Aunt May? Right after Peter moved out. Nobody touches Hammerhead, you hear me? Nobody. If you want me, Benny can take him down to the back alley, blow his fucking head off. Cripes, boss, the guy who built this place sure has a weird idea about decorating. Oh, did they steal this from the Kingpin? You said about putting my spider in the entire office as a turntable. Each position allows a single window to overlook a different area. This was the Kingpin's apartment. Is the Kingpin not around? Oh, I used to love this apartment they had where it switched around. This office is a turntable. Each position allows a single window to overlook a different area. Oh, I fucking love this fucking bad guy. Gwen Stacy, Gwen Stacy. Slow down, girl. I have to talk to you for a moment. It's about your professor. It's about Peter, isn't it, Professor Warren? Yes, I'm quite concerned. He has been in class for almost a week. I told her she was being too maternal. He's looking for Gwen Stacy in Flash. She's fucking the Flash. Peter's one of the nicest guys in the world, you piece of shit. His eyes don't show. He sprays their heads. They shoot at him. He clotheslines one motherfucker, shoots another one, gets away, punches a motherfucker in the face, breaks out of the fucking window onto the high-speed highway, swinging here, swinging there, across the car. He's got to get to Westchester before Aunt May gets killed. They go all in. Everybody's shooting. Guns are a fucking blazing. The man I've got to see is Dr. Octopus, but then he's smashed over the head with a vase. When he turns around, it is, in fact, Aunt fucking May. I killed that awful man, Spider-Man. Which brings us to issue 1 fucking 15. But let's see if we got enough here to get page 2 done. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Swiftly like an assassin. So, should we... No, the Sandman we're not using here. The Sandman we're not using here. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Where we see the knife and fork from Dr. Harrow's dinner plate. Like that part. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin. Where? No, I don't like the blades coming out. I like the idea of him bashing out the windows and sucking out the fucking guards. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles towards the windows. Sending several metallic projectiles towards the windows. No, several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. Sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. Now, he should kill the guards first. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. The projectiles all explode, which we see sears off the rear of the plane, a la the Dark Knight Rises. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out of the back of the open plane. Their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly into the sky towards the mercenary. We see a close up of the frantic Dr. Harrow, seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his dead guards floating alongside him. Suddenly, he is grabbed out of the air We see a close up of the frantic. We see a close up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his dead guards floating alongside him. Suddenly, he is grabbed out of the air. He is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which we reveal to be the vulture. A green clad skyjacker extraordinaire. We spell extraordinaire. Extraordinaire. But I spell wrong. With the doctor, with Dr. Harrow clutched in his grasp, the vulture does a quick barrel roll to evade the plummeting plane, the plummeting, crashing plane, as it nearly collides with them on their flying descent. Boosh! So we'll take some notes for page 3. The same way the vulture sabotaged Dr. Harrow's arrival in Empire City to seemingly aid the reclusive Norman Osborn or someone else, we will also show a freighter ship or hydrofoil also attempting to enter Empire City with valuable cargo, and we can show that ship being taken out by the Sandman. So this story can be a Sandman and Vulture team up, or we scrap it and just use one of them. Because we used a lot of villains. We used Craven, Chameleon, we had Norman Osborn in here, Dr. O. But remember, we killed Craven, we killed Chameleon. We still have Dr. O's brain. So we're using him as the living brain. Vulture, Mysterio, we still got Norman. We got the Lizard we threw in there as well. So we have our little universe building. Same way the Vulture sabotaged Dr. Harrow's arrival in Empire City to seemingly aid the reclusive Norman Osborn or someone else. We'd also show a freighter ship or hydrofoil also attempting to enter Empire City with valuable cargo, and we could show that ship being taken out by the Sandman. So this story could be a Sandman and Vulture team up, or we scrap and just use the Vulture. We still got to write the dialogue. So can we write it without using another issue, or are we going to use this other issue? So fuck it. The wings of the mercenary open up like an assassin. Just open the fucking. All right. It's hard getting started. Once you get started, you get into a nice little flow. Douche, LaRouche. All right. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. And the game pieces are being placed into line. So the idea is, what story are we telling here? The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. The projectiles all explode, which we see sears off the rear of the plane a la The Dark Knight Rises. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out of the back of the open plane, their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. We see a close-up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death while his dead guards floating alongside him. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which are revealed to be the Vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire. With Dr. Harrow clutched in his grasp, the Vulture does a quick barrel roll to evade the plummeting, crashing plane as it nearly collides with them on their flying descent. With his wings spread. Full mastery. Now, we want this Betty Brant still explaining what's going on. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table. We just want to do Peter Parker's thing and all this fucking shit. After all, Peter Parker's a reporter now. And we open our story with a milestone marker. A year ago, our metropolis was thrown into utter chaos as a madman attempted to hold this city hostage, exposing our leader as a murderer and a fraud, and nearly succeeding in his quest for our annihilation. But our kingdom was saved, and our empire reborn. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process, our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world, surgeons, scientists, and swords, for not just the benefit of the empire, but to spread that wealth and knowledge back to the wastelands below. As Empire City vows to no longer hover above the shadows, but to be the bringers of light. I like that. It works. Enter Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world, discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. Fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc in the black market organ trade. Someone who put up a lot of silver. Someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. While considered brilliant and innovative, he is still a mad scientist, and our new mayor has vowed not to shake the devil's hand, a la his predecessor. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow is being brought in his way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe that the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology, but those same insiders say that this living brain has gone missing. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table, and the game pieces are being placed into line. See, we write bigger here because it's easy for you to see and me to see, but once we print it in the books, we'll take it down to about 13 or 14. Shorten it up a little bit, but it's easy to write bigger so you can see it. And the game pieces being placed into line, okay. The wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. We always knew that with the advent of heroism, evil would eventually push back. And even with giant shield, providing this artificial cone, and even with a giant shield providing this artificial cone of comfort, who knows? We always knew that with the advent of heroism, evil would eventually push back. And even with the giant shield providing this artificial cone of comfort, who knows where? Who knows where the specter will strike? We always knew that with the advent of heroism, evil would eventually push back. And even with the giant shield providing this artificial cone of comfort, who knows where the specter will strike? I like that. The projectiles all explode, which we see sears off the rear of the plane, a la The Dark Knight Rises. SFX of the back of the plane. Blowing off. Do, 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 do. Deeper in. Projectiles all explode, which we see sears off the rear of the plane, how the dark night rises. Whether by air or by sea. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming for Empire City. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming for Empire City. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming for Empire City. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out the back of the open plane, their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. SFX of the suction firing and lifeless screaming. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming for Empire City. My former employer now leads this city. My former employer now leads this land. So I will continue to provide the inside. Nah, that's cheesy. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out of the back of the open plane, their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. SFX at the suction, firing and lifeless screaming. What do we want to do there? Betty Brant. The guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out of the back of the open plane, their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. SFX of the suction, firing and lifeless screaming. For whatever offensive. For whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons. For whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons. You can bet that Commissioner Stacy for whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons. You can bet that Commissioner Stacy will have our Blue Angels, armed and ready to defend. For whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons, you can bet that Commissioner Stacy will have our Blue Angels, armed and ready to defend. We see a close-up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his dead guards floating alongside him. We see a close-up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his guards floating alongside him, armed and ready to defend. Guards floating alongside him, armed and ready, the Blue Angels. For whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons, you can bet that Commissioner Stacy will have our Blue Angels armed and ready to defend. Seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his guards floating alongside him. His guards floating alongside him. His guards floating alongside him. His guards floating along. We see a close-up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death, with his guards floating along. We just need 3 more lines here, and we are done. This was a long one today. That's what happens when you're opening up a story. You don't force it. Let's mind one more comic book. I'm going at this for a couple hours now. Having traced his missing aunt. All right, so Aunt May attacks Spider-Man. Hammerhead comes in, the sinister rival. The last battle. My men have trailed you away from the city. Gary's friend. Hmm. Dr. Octopus. See what he wants us to believe. He's got to have something up his sleeve. I can feel it. How pathetically astute, you wondered. All right. He's got guns all over his mansion. Most frustrating, I assure you. Some friends along with you. It's a big, good old fashioned gangster shootout with gas. I mean, the vulture can gas the plane before he blows out the back of it. Or it's just as simple if he blows out the back of the fucking plane. And she bashed Spider-Man over the head. He's having a fucking panic attack. We have gas. We have 3 lines left of dialogue here. Way much more. You can never defeat Dr. Octopus. Never! I'm just going to change my base of it. Now, we still have, remember, we still have his brain. I don't think it's Dr. Octopus anymore, but it's the living brain. He's going one way. I like this. This is a great art shot of Spider-Man crawling through. He's going one way. He can't go the other. Who's at the door? Just I, my dear, your humble host. Is there something wrong? You seem disturbed. There's a whole shootout going on, and he's finding time to be nice. There's no need to inform the local constabulary. Peter was here after all. Is there something I could do? Betty, oh God, just dike out, you two. Miss Stacy and I know each other, Miss Brand. Her father was a good friend of mine. All right, so he's dead already. Right? We even shared something of adventure a few months ago. That's right, they went to the Savage Land together. He's got to act just like this because he's a publisher, basically that cold hard exterior. Ned Leeds! He didn't let me finish what I've been trying to tell him. We found the Westchester address. Of course, we know Peter found it. Now we're going to Robbie Robertson because he's going to be running the Daily Bugle now with Jonah as the mayor. But right now at this Westchester mansion, we got a big fucking shootout here. Now again, we kind of went fast with that scene of him blowing up the plane. It's only 2 pages. But I don't feel like we needed to waste too much time with a fight scene. The Vulture's not much of a fighter. He's a skyjacker. You know, he basically flew, landed on that fucking plane, took out the pilots. Enters the cockpit. Fights Hammerhead. We're not getting much here for the dialogue we need. This is just continuing the Hammerhead Dr. Octopus fight that Spider-Man gets caught up in the middle of. That brings us out to Westchester, where oddly enough is where the X-Men live. And of course, we saw Spider-Man have a little skirmish with them in issue number 4. He's got the stupid mask on. He's getting over his flu. We have our connected universe here now. Spider-Man fights, but he realizes that Aunt May is going to stay for Dr. Octopus. He beats the shit out of Dr. Octopus. Aunt May's got a gun on him. He doesn't realize that, holy fucking shit. She fires up in the air. And she tells Peter, oh, well, Gwen and fucking Aunt May make up. Isn't that lovely? Could I speak with you, please? A man like Dr. Octopus doesn't know the meaning of sorrow. Oh, the thing that worries me now is the location of our friend Mr. Parker. Peter makes his appearance. You're an excitable boy. Please try to understand that. What if it takes for your own good, Peter? I'm not coming home with you. Dr. Octavius has asked me to stay here to keep his house in order, and I've decided to accept. So this gets Peter to kind of move on. He's never a big fan of Aunt May. She kind of annoyed the shit out of me. New Jersey Airport several hours later, trying of almost forgotten loose end. Hammerhead. Oh, he flies out of Newark too, huh? I like that. The end. Hammerhead leaves town. Brings us to 116. The Smasher. Oh, God. Some fucking stupid villains in these. How are we doing here? We have 3 more lines of dialogue here. I don't know if we're mining them out of the comic books here. We got our opening scene. We're bringing in the Vulture, where he's skyjacked in Dr. Harrow, was being brought in. We already talked about it. To use the brain, beneficial technology, access to beneficial technology. 13-3, baby. 66 to go. Commissioner Stacy will have our Blue Angels armed and ready to defend. Should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness. And should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men. We have a night. And should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men, we have a night. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which is revealed to be the vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. Something beyond even the levels of normal men. We have a night. And should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men, we have a night. There's got to be something illegal going on there. Getting a lot of $5 sales. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which is revealed to be the vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. Green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. We have a night. So that's cool. She says we have a night, and then we show the vulture. So I don't think we need a line there. You just do your reveal. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which we revealed to be the vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. Stop. With his wings spread in full mastery. Dr. Harrow clutched in his grasp, the vulture does a quick barrel roll to evade the plummeting, crashing plane. Only the plummeting, crashing, the plummeting plane, as it nearly collides with them on their descent. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which revealed to be the vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. And should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men, we have a night. So let's have some fun here. We just have Betty Brant keep going. Hmm. We introduce him, Bond villain style. That's just too meta. I don't think you need a line here with him. Suddenly he is snatched out of the air because you let it into with Betty saying, "We have a night," and by showing the next panel with the vulture, fucking wings out. You don't need a line there; it ruins it. SFX of the wingspan taking over the sky. Like a nice, like, whoosh, you know what I mean? It's like almost looming like Batman in the glowing moonlight. Oh, get it? Very Batman. Very fucking Batman there. That's what you want there. Almost looming like Batman in the glowing moonlight. Because the idea is before it, she's literally saying, and should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men, we have a knight. I like it. Fuck, I like this art! We're making art! Is snatched out of the air by the mercenary, which revealed to be the vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery. Almost like Batman in the glowing moonlight. Moonlight. Yeah, dude, very Batman. With Dr. Harold clutched in his grasp, the vulture does a quick barrel roll. Caption across this panel reveals the title of the story. The AracKnight Returns. Dr. Harold clutched in his grasp. The vulture does a barrel roll to Kane. As effects of the barrel roll, wind resistance, and the crashing plane swooshing past them. It's a fun. This is how we end it. As a fun homage, you can have a crashing plane take out title font card. Here, back night returns. Yeah, I like that. It's a fun way to playfully play. Like Dr. Harold clutched in his grasp, the vulture does a quick barrel roll to evade the plummeting plane as it nearly collides with them on the descent. SFX of the barrel roll, wind resistance, the crashing plane swooshing past them. As a fun homage, you can have the crashing plane take out the title font card, The AracKnight Returns. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, took about 3.5 fucking hours, but we opened up the sequel to our new story. Pages 1 and 2, my friend. You go as long as it takes to write it. That's the beauty of being a writer. There's no time limit. There's no cap. You go till the fucking mission's done. You don't force it. You push the creativity out of yourself by using the chronology and the lore. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got some notes for page 3 to maybe introduce the Sandman, or just maybe just start it right fucking there. Literally just start. That's a great opener. I mean, fuck the Sandman. We go right with the Vulture. Spider-Man versus the fucking Vulture. You don't need the Sandman, but we might do it. We might bring him in too. We got it there in our note card. We might use it, we might not. We might keep backing it up. Either way, we got notes to continue. The first 2 pages are in the fucking books, ladies and gentlemen. It's been wonderful tonight. May fate and faith decide your fortune if you should enjoy this Buy the textbooks. Peace, love, and war. All that shit in between.